This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Tonight from PNC Park in Pittsburgh, home to the Pirates, kicks off a four-game series. Game one, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And welcome to the broadcast booth here at PNC Park. I'm Dan McLaughlin. That's Brad Thompson. Erica Weston is with us as well. Well, since the All-Star break, the Cardinals playing very well with series wins over Arizona, Pittsburgh at home, and then the four-game series against Cincinnati. They've won 7 of 10. Now it's a tough test tonight. They'll face Trevor Williams, the starter for the Pirates.
Trevor Williams has struggled recently, but man, he has been good against the St. Louis Cardinals. His last 3 outings against St. Louis, 2-0 record, got an ERA of 2.5, and the thing he's been doing is executing. He's climbing the ladder when he wants to. He's spotted up his fastball on both sides of the plate, and the slider's been good, but none of those things have been happening for Trevor Williams here recently. He struggled mightily. He's giving up the long ball. He's missing, and that's the hope in this one, is that he misses against the Cardinals.
Let's jump right into our Kia Give It Everything, and one of those guys trying to get to the right-hander of the Pirates, Tyler O'Neill. He's in the outfield and starting lineup this evening.
Talk about a guy who could crush a fastball. Tyler O'Neill fits that bill. His numbers here have been fantastic. The last 9 games, Cardinals have needed a spark. He's provided one, and he can turn around a Trevor Williams heater that he misses his spot on.
So the last 9 games at .378 average, the 4 homers, and he's driven in 12. Speaking of home runs, he's back in the starting lineup tonight. Paul Goldschmidt. Daniel Ponce de Leon has to get that guy out. Josh Bell, the All-Star. Pirates and Cardinals coming up. Budweiser, wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates road trip continues, and the first of 4 tonight here from beautiful PNC Park in Pittsburgh. The Pirates 46-52, and the Cardinals check in 4 games above the 500 mark at 51-47, and St. Louis 2.5 games out, half game back in Milwaukee. Chicago leading the division. Beautiful night, just above 70 degrees, a little different feel to this game and the temperature as opposed to what we had over the weekend in Cincy. GMC lineup: Tommy Edman at the top, couple of switch hitters, then Dexter Fowler and Paul Goldschmidt. Tyler O'Neill batting cleanup, Paul DeYoung, Colton Wong, Jairo Munoz getting the start in center field. He's played a total of 40 1/3 innings in the outfield in his big league career. Matt Wieters and the pitcher batting ninth, Daniel Ponce de Leon. They'll be opposed by Trevor Williams, and it's just start number 14 for him. He's dealt with some injuries this year, Brad, but we've seen against St. Louis or others, when right, he can be very tough.
He really can, and the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Trevor Williams. He spots up his fastball very well, throws it a lot. We're going to see a lot of that with Daniel Ponce de Leon as well. Has a good slider, changeup. Every once in a while you'll see the curveball from Trevor Williams. But he's had his success against the Cardinals, and the main thing has been just spotting up that fastball.
The Pirates are 2-7 since the All-Star break, after winning 5 of 7 leading up to the break. So they're hovering right around that 500 mark, and the first pitch is taken for a ball, and we're underway. Here's Tommy Edman getting the start at third base tonight, the switch hitter. Hitting .263 from this side of the plate. Takes a healthy cut. 1 ball and 1 strike. It was one of the youngest Cardinal lineups in some time yesterday, as Dexter Fowler, the only starter that was born in the 80s. 7 of the 9 were 25 or younger. Yet Edman, O'Neill, DeYoung, Munoz, Kisner, Bader, Flaherty. That was a young team out there.
You're making me feel old now. Golly.
I feel old too. And that's tap foul. But yet you watch a guy like Tommy Edman, Brad, and you get the sense that he has the mentality and the sense of a baseball player that's been around for a while.
He's so even keel in everything that he does. He can play multiple positions and does so at a high level. He handles himself from both sides of the plate, and look, ups and downs, he remains to be the same guy. He's filled in great.
It's held there a long time by Diaz, and it's a tight zone already from Mike Estabrook. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. Mike, our home plate umpire, and it's going to be like that. It's going to be a long night. And Tommy Edmonds sends one out to center field. Marte is back, deepest part of the ballpark, and makes the catch near the 410 sign. Marte, a very good defensive player. He's in center around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Dickerson in left, Reynolds in right. Moran, Newman, Frazier, and Bell on the infield. Diaz behind the plate, and Williams on the mound. Little nooks and crannies of this ballpark, and that jets in to make room for the bullpens out there.
He hit that one a ton, and it's very intricate, the entire outfield, and that's why you'll see the teams, and Willie McGee goes out there with the guys beforehand and just sees how the ball's going to roll and what type of caroms they take. So that's the difference oftentimes.
Just off the plate to switch hitter Dexter Fowler in right field. Dexter overall 245 the average, and he rips that down into the corner in right field. And Fowler digging for two. One out, stand-up double for the Cardinal right fielder tonight.
Two batters, two balls hit very hard off of Trevor Williams so far in this ball game. He's had his struggles. He's left pitches over the plate, and right here Dexter's not getting cheated. He gets this one that leaks back over the middle of the plate, center cut, gets the head out, and gets things started for the Cardinals.
Brings in Paul Goldschmidt. Did not start yesterday, but came in late. The Cardinals on the year are 19th in baseball with runners in scoring position at 257. They've done a lot of their damage, though, against the Pirates. And Goldschmidt can say the same. He has hit the Pirates very well this year.
He has, and we all know, we've talked about this throughout the season. I mean, this guy right here, this is the key. This is the key to your offense. This is the key to you being the team that you want to be. We've seen some flashes of it, certainly recently from Goldschmidt. Not the best series against the Reds, but he has done some work against the Pirates.
In the series against Cincinnati, those 4 games, the Cardinals went 10 for 32 with runners in scoring position. This season, they're 273 against the Buccos. Goldschmidt against the Pirates, a .324 average, couple of home runs this year, and he's driven in 9. And the last time these two teams saw each other, which was the recent homestand for St. Louis, it was the big home run that he hit that put them over the top, and now your Toyota key to the game.
Well, it is attack early, and we've seen this already from the Cardinals. First 2 batters jumping on fastballs. Trevor Williams has struggled. His last 4 especially have been rough. He's coming off his worst outing of the year against the Cubs. Go get to him.
Check on Fowler. Cardinals were running wild yesterday, and you do have to keep in mind Fowler can run a bit. He's got 4 steals, and the Cardinals, with the stolen bases yesterday, actually surpassed their total from a year ago. The last 4 starts for Trevor Williams, and the ERA near 10.
It's the guy you want to jump on. He's had success against the Cardinals, certainly. Make him forget about that quickly.
The 2-1, 2-2.
Yeah, I love seeing the aggressiveness on the base pass for the Cardinals. Now, right now, it has been more of something to jumpstart the offense, give you a little bit of an opportunity to get the wheels moving. This offense hasn't hit its stride completely yet. But, man, if in fact it does, and you believe that the pieces are there, and you can add the speed element, Mike Shilt's not afraid to push it on the base pass, and it's worked out quite well.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Goldschmidt. Fowler, your runner at second base, hopping off the bag. And that's just off the plate, and it is a tight zone tonight. There's no doubt about it.
Good slider by Trevor Williams here. This thing starts on the middle of the plate and ends up just off. Great take right there by Paul Goldschmidt.
Cardinals took 2 of 3 from the Bucks last week at Busch Stadium. First of 4 beginning tonight. And the next to the Cardinal first baseman, and Goldschmidt hits it in the air. Right side, Bell backing up, and he'll make the catch. Staying put, Fowler at second base. Trevor Williams was originally scheduled to pitch over the weekend against the Phillies. Scratch with what the club referred to as severe flu-like symptoms. Actually dropped about 7 to 10 pounds.
That sounds severe to me.
That's enough. That's in a short amount of time.
Hard to believe, even being pushed back a couple of days, that you'd be at full strength after losing that type of weight and dealing with that.
Well, since June 29th, we highlighted him in the open, what he's done the last 9 games. Since June 29th, 323 the average. He's scoring a bunch of runs. Tyler O'Neill with 10 and 4 home runs. And O'Neill hits it high in the air out to right. Reynolds under it and makes the catch. So Fowler the double, but left stranded. Daniel Ponce de Leon to the mound when we come back. Career high tying 4 runs in 2/3 against the Pirates. That was Wednesday. Cardinals eventually came back to win it 6-5, and he'll go tonight. Hyundai pitch arsenal, Brad.
Well, a lot of fastballs again from Daniel Ponce de Leon, the cutter, which he's shown some good feel for recently. He's got the changeup and the curveball. His curve can be very good. It's a little inconsistent, but it's definitely a nice look, a different look from the hard fastball and the hard cutter. And Ponce has done a great job filling into this rotation. I mean, forced his way into it and had a bumpy one against the Pirates last time out, but man, he has been fantastic.
Here's Adam Frazier, the left-handed batter, and looks at a strike, hitting .278. 4 home runs. He's driven in 26. Can play a little bit of the outfield. We've seen him at third base, occasionally at short, but primarily at second. And he's been hot here at home. Last 11 home games, a .500 average, and he's driven in 7. So Frazier, then the switch hitter Reynolds. What a find by the Pirates there, and then Starling Marte.
Yeah, Reynolds is a great pickup for them, part of the Andrew McCutchen deal. And they got a lot of guys in this lineup that know who they are. I mean, Frazier, Reynolds, they're table setters, you know. Kevin Newman a little bit later on in the lineup, the same type of guy. And then they've got guys in Marte and Bell that are supposed to clean things up.
Well, when you see Daniel pitch, it's not real fancy. It's fastball with little cut, little sink, but it's primarily fastballs.
He's coming right after you, and at this point, if it ain't broke, you know, why fix it?
Ooh. Wow. It started literally in the first pitch of the game. This is a tight zone. Mike Estabrook will hear this night after night after night when he's behind the plate, but both sides are going to be complaining if it's going to be this tight.
You got to hang with it, and it's tough on the pitchers. You can't be giving out free passes. You know that the corners aren't going to be yours, so you're going to have to compete within the strike zone. And that really is something that Daniel Ponce de Leon does a really good job of, specifically up in the strike zone.
Frazier with 3 stolen bases at first base, and the switch hitting Brian Reynolds. .333 the average with 7 homers, 38 runs batted in. Reynolds, as you mentioned, traded for McCutchen, and San Francisco has been looking and looking and looking for outfield help the last couple of years, and they had the guy and maybe that could have filled that spot in their own backyard, but it never materialized. That happens. Change of scenery or just a new league, whatever.
Well, and sometimes look, you make a deal because it makes sense at the time, and McCutchen made sense for them at the time. And look, you're always going to have to give away something in a deal, and you kind of hope it doesn't end up biting you. But Reynolds has been very, very good so far for the Pirates.
He's got a chance to be the rookie of the year, and he hits that down the left field line. O'Neill over, and it's out of the reach of O'Neill. Lineup presented by GMC. Frazier, Reynolds, and Marte. Then the cleanup batter, Bell, an all-star. Moran, Dickerson, Newman, Diaz, and Williams. Brian Reynolds leads all rookies in average and on-base percentage. .333 the average, on base above 400. Well, you take that. And he's a switch hitter. Here's a 1-2 pitch by Daniel Ponce de Leon. The hard hit rate against Daniel this year is 25.9%. And that's well below the league average. And you might be asking what that might be. It's 37%. So not a lot of hard contact against Daniel.
It's been hard to square up, and
popped up again and out of play.
I know it's kind of crazy because he throws as many fastballs as he does. We showed you the pitch arsenal before. It's right around 70%. But he mixes it up well. He throws it to both sides of the plate. It's sneaky too. You see the velocity. He hides the ball so well. Kind of just hard to get the barrel to it.
I would have to think that Alonso of the Mets would be the rookie of the year with all the home runs playing in New York, but this guy will be in the conversation at least. Got Riley in Atlanta, Walker with Arizona, top rookies this year in the National League. Hit out of play again.
Alonso has hit some monster home runs.
First half of the year, he had set the all-time rookie record by a Met as he broke Darryl Strawberry's mark, and he's driven in 75 to lead in that categories among rookies. He's got 31 home runs. Check that, 33.
That's a good season.
The 2-2 in the air out to center. Munoz spun around, and he'll make the catch. Munoz, a total of 12 2/3 innings coming into play tonight at that position of center field, but 3 hits yesterday, had the triple, home run. It was a hit away from the cycle, and Munoz is a very athletic guy, and they want to keep his bat in the lineup. Here's Starling Marte. 276 the average, 16 home runs, and has driven in 53. Back on the 17th of July against Daniel Ponce de Leon. Watch out in left. Here comes a souvenir off the bat of Marte. So Brad, as a pitcher, that's not that long ago. Sometimes we show the history between a pitcher and a batter. That's last week.
Yeah, here's what you learn from that. Don't throw a cutter down the middle. Yeah, you make mistakes to big league hitters like that. It's going to happen. When you're going to go in, make sure you get in there. Marte loves to get extended. Looking for something else right there, taking the fastball right down the middle. Yeah, sometimes you just have to go back and look at stuff while it was a week ago. You say, look, he should hit that pitch. Make a better one next time.
It's a mistake.
That's it.
Josh Bell on deck. Lead by Frazier at first, and Marte hits it out of play. Pittsburgh averaging a major league worst 2.78 runs per game here in the second half. Now it's a small sample size, but prior to that they were putting up big numbers in this ballpark.
Well, the biggest difference really has been the guy on deck.
Yeah. Good point.
Bell hasn't been the guy. They've had their table setters, but nobody's cleaning it up. A trend that we kind of hope continues at least for the next 4 days.
Here's an 0-2. Just off the plate. Matter of fact, Bell 4 for 29 since the All-Star break in the 9 games and has driven in 1. That is it. 1 RBI.
I mean, he was putting up prolific numbers in the first half. He's got big-time power, and there's no reason to believe he's not going to get back to being that guy. But we saw it last week. He's taking some hittable pitches. Then he finds himself chasing later. He's just a tad bit off right now.
And the 1-2. Smoked into right center. Fowler over to cut it off. And Frazier on his way to third. Runners at the corners with one down here in the home half of the first. Cardinals defense around the horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. O'Neill, Munoz, his 5th career start in center, Fowler in right. Edmund, DeYoung, Wong, and Goldschmidt along the infield. And the veteran Matt Wieters again filling in for Yadier Molina. Cardinals hope to know more about the hand issue of Yadi next week when the club returns home. They'll actually be home on Friday, but next week should be a better judge of just how far he has come and trying to strengthen that hand. A check on the runner Marte. He is a threat to steal with 13. The Pirates hitting .270 with runners in scoring position, 10th best in all of baseball. But the Cardinals have held them in this spot to a .211 average. So Brad, you really get into the numbers, you study the video. Why are teams getting Bell out? What's happening now with Josh Bell?
Well, currently this is something that didn't happen before the All-Star break. He's taking hittable pitches early. I mean, there are some pitches, fastballs, that he's taking because he's thinking something else is coming, and then he finds himself deep in counts and chasing after that. So pitches that he was driving early on in the season, he's letting go. There is room inside with Bell also, and right now guys have been pitching him in and then getting him to chase a little bit away. He wasn't chasing. For a big guy power hitter, you think, oh, they strike out a lot, they chase. He really doesn't, but he has been recently.
And the 1-1 taken for a ball inside. So just 1 run batted in 9 games since the break. Nevertheless, he still has 6 more, 85 than any other player in baseball. A lot of talk around town has been the fact that he participated in the home run derby, and is he tired? Didn't get the break of other players? Who knows? Missed in again.
Josh answered that question. Certainly it's going to be asked, and I mean, to be expected. He said, no, that's not the case. It wasn't an issue. It didn't change my swing, didn't mess me up. But who knows? I guess we'll know in the future if in fact he takes the offer again.
Pitch number 22 from Ponce de Leon to Bell. Took some off it on the 3-1.
A little backdoor cutter right there. A changeup. It's going to be important. The 22 pitches. Got to be able to get deeper into the ball game. Bullpen's been worked a lot here recently.
Oh yeah. Runner goes, and the pitch is taken for a ball. So 2 walks in the inning, and now the base is loaded. In the 4 games against Cincinnati, the bullpen worked over 16 innings. So that gives you an idea. The starters weren't going as deep as you'd like to see. And now it's Colin Moran, and they're all loaded up, and Mike Maddox out.
Going to try to slow him down here a little bit, just keep him within the strike zone, and you got to compete there. You're not going to be getting the corners here today with Mike Estabrook behind the plate. Neither side, at least recently, early in this ball game, have been. So got to make some pitches. Colin Moran has been hot, very, very hot so far. 408.
Yep, that's in this month. 16 games. Only Anthony Rizzo of the Cubs has a higher average in the National League. In the month of July, he's 1 home run shy of matching his career high of 11 last year. 7 RBI shy of the 58 he produced in 2018. And Daniel and the Cardinals are thinking double play. Cardinals had a grand slam from Tommy Edman against Cincinnati in that series, and that's their only grand slam this year. The Pirates only have one grand slam this year and hitting .230 with the bases loaded. Nothing in 2. Moran is grounded into 5 double plays, if you're wondering.
Ties him up there with a good fastball. Got a couple of options here. Colin Moran will chase up, so you can try to go up there. You can even try to go up there twice, or if he's feeling confident in his cutter, down and in. But you can't make a mistake over the plate. It's got to be in.
The 0-2. Right down the middle. He struck him out. First strikeout for Daniel Ponce de Leon, and he needed that. Moran looking for something else.
He was for sure. He gets 94. He gets it middle. You see Wieters looking to set up on the inner half right there, trying to tie him up again like he did with the one beforehand. Catches him looking, though, and you're right. That is huge right here. I got to bear down. Got a big out right there and a hot hitter. Got to do it again.
Here's Dickerson, the season average at .305, couple of home runs, and is driven in 19. Ponce de Leon 5 for 5 in first pitch strikes, and yet has walked 2 in the inning. One out. That was recorded by Reynolds. Then the strikeout of Moran. And there's ball 1 with 2 down, and the sacks jam for Corey Dickerson. 1 for 5 in this spot this year. Two and 0. Pitch number 29 coming up in the inning. Dickerson in his last 6 games, 7 for 12, 5 walks. Keep that in mind. And he was intentionally walked as a pinch hitter yesterday, and eventually the Pirates fell to the Phillies. Two and 1.
That's where you're going to have your success against Dickerson. He's a low ball hitter, especially off speed. I didn't actually like the changeup the pitch before. He hit a double this year against the Astros on a ball that bounced. Like, he sees the ball so well down. He likes it there, but he does struggle up in the strike zone, especially with plus stuff.
6 swings and misses this inning for Daniel. Dickerson 8 for his last 19 with runners in scoring position. And where the Pirates have really separated themselves from others is 2 outs, runners in scoring position. They're the best in baseball with a .283 average.
See what, that sounds like a stark difference. While I don't have the Cardinals numbers in front of me, the Cardinals have struggled in those situations.
Cardinals .216, 22nd overall in baseball in that spot. 3 and 1 with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the first. Now 2 strikes, and everybody running on this pitch with 2 down and the bases loaded. All right, you want excitement in the game?
You're
going to get it right here.
Look, this inning has not gone the way Daniel Ponce de Leon planned coming out of the bullpen today, but here we are. You're 1 pitch away from getting out of it, getting on a roll.
Brad, not how you want to draw it up, but the 3rd full count in this first inning already for Daniel.
Yeah, it's not perfect, and it's not a great recipe to get deep into a ball game, but right now it's about stranding runners.
3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded, and we'll do it again. This is a chance for the Cardinals in this series to bury the Pirates.
Yep.
I mean, I know there's 2 months to go after the series, but still, Pirates struggling. really struggling since the break. And the other teams, Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Louis, playing pretty well to get things going for the stretch run. And again, a foul ball. Well, it's a wide turn by Frazier. He's almost outside of where the area is of the coach's box coming down the third base line. Pitch number 8 in the at bat coming up. The 3-2 again, and he struck him out. Daniel, back-to-back Ks with the bases loaded and a little strut going back in the dugout. He struck out Moran on 3 pitches, Dickerson on 8. A lot of pitches in the inning, but no damage done. Top of the second, and there's no score. Daniel Ponce de Leon, a 32-pitch first inning, but pitches out of the bases loaded 1-out situation. Here's Paul DeJong. Good series against the Reds. Couple of home runs. And the Cardinal All-Star now with 15 this year to go along with 44 runs batted in.
You'd love to see the offense here take that momentum. End up punching out 2 with the bases juiced. I go tax them on.
Just below the strike zone, I guess.
You got to get in there. I mean, anything borderline, it ain't happening. At least it's both sides. Like, you know what to expect after the first inning. The answer is a long game, by the way.
Yeah, get comfy. And it's 3-1. When you have a strike zone like this, an umpire like this, does it start to play in the mindset of a pitcher?
Yeah, it can. It certainly can, because you know that even if you make the perfect pitch, you might not get the call, but you still got to go to your strengths.
Hit to short, gobbled up by Newman, and the pick by Bell. Brings in Colton Wong. So 1 out and nobody on. A reminder, the MLB ballpark app will complete your next visit to Busch Stadium. Buy and manage game tickets. Redeem special check-in offers. MLB ballpark app today. What is the trade deadline like around Major League Baseball for a player? Because it seems like in this day and age, and it's really changed even the last few years, and that's line to center. And going out to make the catch, Kevin Newman in shallow center field. But, you know, all these guys are on social media for the most part, and certainly all of them get on the internet. I mean, your name might be bandied about. What's it like?
And even if you're not, specifically this time of the year, maybe some guys are saying, look, I'm taking a break. I'm not checking my social media. I'm not doing it. Well, guess what? Your wife probably is, your parents are, your friends are, and you're going to hear from them. So it is a difficult time, and it's hard to focus on the task at hand, but I think that you just have to realize that's all you can do. I mean, if you get a phone call that says you're traded, you're traded. It is what it is.
Melky Cabrera was talking about that yesterday, apparently, with some of the Pirates that have been mentioned to be potential trade targets. And he said, and this is a guy that's been all over the place. And he said, you can't worry about it. Best thing you can do, and he said, I know it's cliche, but go out and do your job.
Well, this is the only place sometimes where life makes sense anyhow, is out on the field and actually playing the games. The only time that that's all you're doing. It's all you're focused on. So just do that. Go do your job. But the Pirates and their, GM Neil Huntington, he's going to have some big decisions to make here.
And that one not going Munoz's way, and he didn't like the call. That's off the plate. Neil Huntington, the GM, said before yesterday's game he has no plans to trade Felipe Vasquez at the deadline. He has 21 saves this year. Very good closer. Strikeout of Munoz on the other side of the plate.
Well, here's your borderline pitches that we said you wouldn't get at all. 2 of them in this at bat. Munoz takes it. That last one's a good pitch. The one before was not.
Get comfy. Might be a long night.
And the Pirates, not much more Jairo Munoz can do to prove that he is an everyday player in this league. Yesterday in Cincinnati, his second 3-hit game of his short career, with the Redbirds getting the start in center field tonight. Mike Schilt talking about it before the game. Obviously not a ton of time spent in center. It was once a time the Cardinals organization thought he might be out there roaming the center field, but he said it's more about him earning the opportunity to get out there. He's a very confident outfielder that can play center field, so he's earned the opportunity to play. It's a multitude of reasons why he's in center, but mainly it's because he has earned it. Dan.
3 for 4. Thank you, Erica. Home run number 2 yesterday. First career triple, RBI single. In the games that he started, there's only been, including tonight, 17 of them. He's got hits in 14 of those games. And oh, by the way, he led the Cardinals in average in the month of June. So you're right, he's done an awful lot to earn this start in center field. And
it's nice to have that feeling if you're Mike Schilt, that certainly, I mean, you're going to put bats out there. If guys are producing offensively, you got to find out, you got to find a spot for him. But he's not a defensive liability. He carries himself really well in center field. He's athletic. He's got good instincts. He's got good range. Makes you comfortable as a manager.
This is Kevin Newman at the plate, and he is third among rookies in average at .326. His teammate, as we mentioned earlier, Brian Reynolds, he's only a few plate appearances from qualifying for the league title. Not just rookies, but everybody. And the 3-2 line foul down the right field line.
Kevin Newman, another one of those guys that we were talking about in the Pirates lineup that kind of knows who they are. You know, he's gap-to-gap power. He knows he's not a home run guy. His swing is doubles. He's a guy that gets on so you can get him in.
Fouled back again. Do you like pitching in this ballpark?
Yeah, I did. It's a beautiful ballpark. I don't think I had great numbers here, but I still liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall.
Hitters love the backdrop, and as a fan, you got to love the backdrop of the city skyline here.
Yeah, so for me, as far as road fields go, this is my favorite. I love it.
Popped up right side, Colton Wong backing up to make the catch, and that's the first out here in the home half of the second. They have done just a remarkable job of that area right there. You walk over the bridge, they'll close it off. You can park on that side and come over to PNC Park, go across the river and gather in your seat. And it's an intimate setting with a nod towards the past, and it is a beautiful ballpark here in Pittsburgh.
One that Cardinal fans travel well to also.
Yes, they do.
I flew up here yesterday from St. Louis while you guys were in Cincinnati, and that was pretty much half the flight was people coming to this game, to this ballpark for this series.
I think it's because part of it, at least, it's centrally located for the most part. I mean, you're on the East Coast, but it's not that far, St. Louis being centrally located, to get here. And we talk about it so much, and we show off the ballpark, and I think fans say, well, if we're going to take a trip, yeah, why not do that one? That's a pretty cool one.
Yeah, it's easier than going out to the West Coast, and certainly if you have the opportunity, you should try to check out as many ballparks as you can. This is a cool one. And you're right, the downtown area has pepped up a ton.
It's been cleaned up, believe me. Two and one on Diaz, the 8th place hitter, and then the pitcher Trevor Williams is on deck. Diaz was 0 for 4 yesterday. Again, no Francisco Cervelli. Is on the concussion protocol list. Initially, Cervelli, there was some talk that he said, I'm done. The concussions have gotten to me, and then he clarified those statements. He said, no. I'm still okay. I need to get a clean bill of health, but I'd like to be back.
I'm sure those emotions go through you, though. And
sure.
When you take that many shots and, you worry about your future, not just the right now. It's a dangerous position back there. And he gets hit on quite a bit when we talk about Yachty and watching him behind the plate and all the little stuff that you would never know during the game, all the foul tips that catch you. They take their toll.
That's out of play. This is the 4th full count. Diaz smelling the bat. You can smell that burnt wood on a foul ball. And that's what players will do. Or if you're Yasiel Puig, you'll just lick your bat.
Everybody's got their thing, And
that's his.
I really don't know of anybody else that does that.
No, I haven't seen it.
How was the Suns out, guns out game yesterday?
There's a strikeout, and that's number 3, and he struck out 3 of the last 4. Put it this way, Brad, if you would have gone sleeveless, we would have had to invest in sunblock.
And sunglasses. Good cutter right here. Up and away by Daniel Ponce de Leon, showing him a steady diet of fastballs. Had 3 heaters in a row and then gives him that cutter. Great way to finish him. Yeah, the whole sleeveless thing is not great for me.
I'm not into it.
Tad bit too pale.
There's a strike to Trevor Williams. Here's another guy that the Marlins had. Originally drafted by the Marlins, 2nd round of 2013 out of Arizona State. Curveball, and it's 0-2. And we've seen DeSclafani was another one that the Marlins had, and others that they've traded away.
The Marlins could be really good if they kept their players.
There's no doubt. Ground ball, and Goldschmidt takes it himself and steps on the bag, and Daniel enjoys an easy 1-2-3. We move to the 3rd. Wieters, Ponce de Leon, Edman coming up. Beautiful News presents this in Cardinals history. Take you back to July 22nd of 05, and Hector Luna scoring the game-winning run against Chicago on a bunt by David Eckstein. Yachty and Albert, Matt Morris, they're loving it. Scott Rowland headed to the Cardinals Hall of Fame. It's the Summer of Lou, and see more at Fuse.com. And that was a walk-off by David Eckstein, who spent 3 years with the St. Louis Cardinals. Nearly 400 games, hit .297. Was an All-Star, World Series MVP. He made the most of it, and now is actually working as an assistant to the front office, the GM here in Pittsburgh. He'll be in uniform before games and then goes out and will go in the video room or various places that they have him at work. And his brother, Rick, the hitting coach, and Josh Bell has talked about that relationship with Rick Eckstein really changing things for him.
Such a smart baseball family and just students of the game. And anybody that's had the opportunity to talk to Rick about hitting, I mean, he's great and really knows how to kind of teach each individual, not just hey, this is my philosophy, you all do it. No, it's how to make you succeed as a hitter. Take your strengths.
Shift on the right side for Matt Wieters, 278. 4 of his 7 home runs from this side of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ponce de Leon on deck, and then Tommy Edman.
Dan, can you think of a guy that got more out of what he had than David Eckstein?
Nope. That's why I think he'd be great with players.
Oh, totally.
Wieters bunting, but foul against the shift.
I like the idea.
Yep. I think of the shift, I think Matt Carpenter, and John Mozeliak telling me today that Carpenter will more than likely head to Memphis, play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they'll see where he's at. They'd like to get him at least 4 at-bats a game and then bring him back for the homestand beginning with Houston on Friday night. Also, Mike Myers. Don't forget about the right-hander that was in the Cardinal bullpen. He could return by the end of the week as well.
Mike Myers is getting close to where he has to come back from the rehab.
1-2 the count on Wieters. Group from Herculaneum, Missouri here at the game. They are the Next Step for Life Community Support Group. They provide services that assist individuals with disabilities to live fulfilled lives. They do great things, and they're here in a big group here tonight. sitting in section 108. 2-2 the count on Matt Wieters. Two spoiled by Wieters. Ponce de Leon had 34 pitches in the first inning and then 18 last inning. Pitched out of that bases loaded jam, and so many times we see it in sports. You have a moment or two early in a game and it propels you, sets the tone for the rest of the night.
Does for sure. He dialed in that first inning when he really had to. Executed some pitches, made some great ones, carried that over to the next inning. Now, yeah, it puts you in a hole as far as pitch count goes and how deep you're going to be able to get into this game. But look, it's about adjustments. Can't go back. You can't get those pitches back. It's about what you do from here on out.
This will be pitch number 9 of this plate appearance for Matt Wieters. Count runs full. And Wieters crushes it out to deep right. Get in the river. Almost dead to the top of the stands. Matt Wieters, his 8th home run, and he's driven in 17. And the backup catcher providing some pop. It's 1-0 St. Louis. A 9-pitch at bat, and Wieters crushes this baby.
Yes, he does. This is a fastball. It's up, it's in, it's not high enough, it's not in enough. He's able to get the hands in and hammers this thing out of the ballpark. Matt Wieters has had some huge hits for the Cardinals this year. I know that, like, you look at the overall average, you look at the overall numbers, and you say, oh, okay. Got to look at when he's done what he's done. They've been tight ball games. They've been late.
Almost into the Allegheny, but 2 or 3 rows shy. There's Daniel Ponce de Leon, and he's down on strikes, and the second strikeout for Williams. Two strikeouts for Williams. He's allowed a pair of hits, a double to Fowler, and the home run moments ago by Wieters. So Trevor Williams, originally with the Marlins and then comes to the Pirates in October of 2015. The deal was for a minor leaguer, but in reality it was compensation for Jim Benedict, who was a pitching strategist and moved from the Pirates to the Marlins. Not talked about all that much back then because Williams was in the minor leagues and other minor leaguers, so not a lot of fanfare, but that's how it all turned out. So the Marlins give up this guy who's in the rotation in the big leagues for a pitching strategist.
Well, interesting strategy they've got there, having not that many pitchers.
And a base hit to left, and furthermore, as Edman reaches, he's 1 for 2. Benedict is no longer with the Marlins. He was let go following the 2017 campaign. Marlins owner at the time, Jeffrey Loria, was behind the move to bring in Benedict and part with Williams as trade compensation. And Derek Jeter came in, and different regime, different people. So there you go.
Fortuitous trade for the Pirates.
Yes. And in reality, when you're not spending a lot of money, you got to come up with some of those. Base hit by Edman. Now Dexter Fowler. Fowler with the double into the right field corner back in the first inning. Edman already with 4 stolen bases. He is leaning and back in safely. By the way, Diaz, in terms of the fastest average pop-up time to second, is number 2. And that's in the National League. He's 1.91 seconds. JT Realmuto of the Phillies is 1.88. So take that into account if you're wondering if there'll be some movement in stolen bases in this series.
Well, if you're going to be stealing bags, it's going to have to be off the pitcher, and that's something that the Cardinals have been doing a lot of recently, is just getting, you get a tell on somebody. You know what their times are. You know what their tendencies end up being. And Trevor Williams is average when it comes to time to the plate. He's not slow. He's not incredibly quick. So you got to make sure that you get that good jumper. Diaz is coming up firing.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Dexter Fowler. Edman not running, and the pitch is taken for a strike. It catches the inside corner, and Dexter didn't like the call. Similar pitch that Munoz saw called a strike that he had to chase.
Well, it looks like Mike Estabrook behind the plate is kind of opening up that zone a little bit. We've seen some borderline pitches that weren't called in the first inning kind of go both ways.
And the 0-2 pitch. Struck him out, went right back to that spot. 2 strikeouts in the inning and 3 total for Williams. The Cardinals hits, they've got 3 of them, have been by their left-handed batters. Edman, Fowler, Wieters. Lefties come in batting .325 against Trevor Williams, and the Cardinals have an all right-handed bench tonight. Here's Goldschmidt, who came up with 1 out and a runner at second and popped out to first. Average around 180 since the All-Star break.
This has been a time this year where the opposition has been able to get to Trevor Williams. Also, second time around, he has had his struggles. .343 average, giving up 6 home runs second time. You see him. You see the fastball. When he's on, he spots up really well. And he's looked good early on in this ball game.
That pitch outside for a ball. Goldschmidt over the weekend talking about his struggles. He said, I've had stretches where I did not hit. Now this is one of the longest stretches, if not the longest, I've ever had. And Jeff Albert actually has had Paul go back, look at video, and Paul said, I'm not a big video guy, but let's reinforce the positive at bats. Let's take a look at what you're doing in a positive way instead of all the bats collected together. And what are we picking up?
That would mess me up, just watching stuff where you're getting abused. I don't think I want to see that. Nobody wants to see a highlight reel of them struggling. You want to see tells when you're doing something right. How do you get started? How are you taking pitches? And we've seen the opposition attack him the same way. It's sliders away, it's fastballs in, and those hands are just not getting started enough to get to that heater in.
Here's a 3-0 to Goldschmidt, and he rips it foul.
Gets him started there in a fastball count.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe that's why you're seeing a lot of foul balls. I know fans have talked about that. Long foul balls down the left field line, but maybe you're cheating in and just trying to get the barrel out.
Yeah, you know how you're being attacked, and the same reason you're saying is why you've seen a lot of kind of flailing at off speed away, because when you're so geared up and you believe that fastball is coming in and then all of a sudden a slider is going away from you, well, that's all you can do is kind of just flail.
And he walked him. The first walk by Trevor Williams, and that'll put a man in scoring position for Tyler O'Neill. And it also gives us a moment. Great Southern Bank.
This is my favorite part.
Oh, really? Because mine...
No, I moved some money. Great Southern app.
So 2 on, 2 outs. Tyler O'Neill. Williams broke into the major leagues wearing number 57. And the story goes he changed it to 34 prior to the start of 2018. And he made the change to honor his former college roommate Corey Hahn. And he had fractured the C5 vertebrae in his neck, was paralyzed from the chest down while sliding headfirst into second base during a game. Hahn was drafted by the Diamondbacks in 2013, went on to become the coordinator of pro scouting, and Trevor has started a foundation called Project 34. It's a nonprofit dedicated to helping those suffering from spinal cord injuries, and you pull for guys that are trying to make a difference.
For sure you do. That's special. Have something that they care about. Obviously somebody that was really close to him, and try to make a difference using the platform. You know, we hit on that with Adam Wainwright quite a bit. There are a lot of Cardinals that use their platform in a great way. Love seeing that. Love hearing stories like that.
First pitch pulled foul, and you may remember his debut was against the Cardinals.
It was awesome.
It's some of the best video you've ever seen in sports. He pitched 3 innings in relief. He struck out 3, allowed just 1 earned, picked up the victory in his major league debut. And following the win, an emotional moment with his dad in the stands, sharing a hug with his father, who was battling cancer, lymphoma specifically, and was told he was not going to live. Not only did he live, he beat it, but he's always traveling around at Trevor Williams games. You can find him in the bullpen, just above, in the seats by the bullpen as he warms up, no matter what stadium he's at. And it's just an awesome vision to see those two hug and embrace. There's a high fly ball. Bell called off by Reynolds and makes the catch. Matt Wieters, a 9-pitch at bat, and he launched it. Home run, 1-0 St. Louis. Yearbook, one-of-a-kind tribute, a one-of-a-kind talent, loaded with terrific stories, classic Yachty photos. Get it at Busch Stadium, local retailers, Cardinals.com/yearbook. First pitch is strike here in the home half of the third. Frazier, Reynolds, and Marte. 1-0 Cardinals on the Wieters home run. Frazier walked his first time up. Another good fastball by Daniel.
Yeah, you are lying. He just comes right at you. I mean, here, you pretty much know what's coming 70% of the time. It's the heater, but things tough to. You can just tell by some of the swings and how they're just late on it. It's much more than the velocity. It's the arm action. It's the way that he hides it a little bit.
Brad, there's been 11 already. 11 swings and misses against Daniel.
It's not like he's mixing in a ton of the off speed. I think we've seen 1 or 2 of those maybe on the cutter.
The 2-2 pitch fouled back. Just imagine if he could develop with consistency slider or curveball or the changeup. Now he's got those pitches, and you'll see it at time. You go, whoa, that's really going to keep somebody on their toes. But you know about the fastball. It's just the secondary pitches to be consistent.
He dropped in a strike to Trevor Williams, strike 2 with a curveball. And I was thinking to myself at the time, like, that's the one right there. And the big difference to me sometimes with Ponce's curveball, I think he tries to do too much. I think he tries to throw the heck out of it and just make it nasty. That one to Williams, he just said, let me just throw this for a strike, and it was filthy.
3-2 pitch. A little bit high. Somebody might get ejected before this one is over. What do you think with this strike zone? Now it's a little bit high, but
yeah, I do know that the strike zone has been a tiny bit erratic, and there might be a couple of eyeballs into it, but it's still more about, look, you got to execute the pitch. You know what you're working with. But if somebody does get run down, I kind of hope he's wearing white. Pops off a little bit.
A good old-fashioned argument. Bring it back.
Hey, those are lost now. They're gone.
Totally.
Can't do it.
Well, David Bell might argue with you.
Every once in a while.
No pun intended. It's been ejected now 7 times.
It's impressive.
Pretty good. Aaron Boone said, my guys are savages.
They are savages.
Talking about his lineup, and microphones could hear him
so hot.
argue.
So hot, the microphones.
Oh, boy.
That, to me, though, if you're one of his players,
you appreciate it.
Yeah, you do. Look, you don't need it all the time, and you don't need a show, but he meant it. He was out there just fighting for his guys. And you know what? Mike Schilt does a lot of that as well. Like, he has his guys back, and in an age where you don't get that opportunity to go out there and have too many back and forths. Sometimes you got to take advantage of the ones that you get.
The pitch count already at 60. 8 of the batters have seen 5 or more pitches in a plate appearance. So could be time for the bullpen at some point in this ball game. We just don't know when. Brian Reynolds at the plate. Runner at first, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, you had the number earlier in the game, Dan, but in that Cincinnati series, the relievers threw 16 1/3, starters 18 2/3. Not exactly how you want to have that ratio.
Here's a 1-1 pitch inside.
I like that pitch a lot. I think got some good cutting action in there. Kind of opens up some things away.
Let's see if he goes away maybe with this pitch. 2-1. Check swing back to Daniel. Out there, the turn. It's a double play. 1-6-3 on the double play.
Pitcher's best friend, check swing right here. Daniel does a good job of setting his feet. Knows he has a little bit of time right here. Sometimes you see a pitcher try to turn and just make the throw. He doesn't. Takes a little step. Paul DeYoung with the nice turn. That's one way to keep your pitch count down right there. 1 pitch, 2 outs.
So it's primarily a fastball from Daniel Ponce de Leon as Marte takes a pitch in. It was 1 pitch that got Mariano Rivera to the Hall of Fame, and I'm sure Bruce Sutter and Ozzie Smith, Whitey all enjoyed Cooperstown. Our thoughts and prayers with Bob Gibson after the announcement of battling cancer, and Lou Brock has had his health issues, and we always think about those two. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Marte, who singled to right first time up. 3-0. Bruce Sutter, one of my favorites.
Pretty special scene in Cooperstown, wasn't it?
It's great. Second largest crowd they've ever had in Cooperstown. The largest was Tony Gwynn and Cal Ripken. They went in 07. Next year, undoubtedly Derek Jeter going in. Fingers crossed, one Larry Walker.
He's a Hall of Famer, man. To me, there's no way around it.
Pulled and past Tommy Edman to left. And Marte will stop at first base. 2 for 2, single to right. Now this one to left.
Well, even though you know Daniel Ponce de Leon, he throws a lot of fastballs. Marte knows that. You know that. I know that. We all know that. You don't want to get into fastball counts with a guy like Marte where you have to come to him. And especially down in the zone. Anything middle to down. It's just got that good swing to it. Gets extended.
So the runner at first, Marte, and here's Josh Bell. Walked back in the first with 2 runners on, and that loaded him up. And then back-to-back strikeouts of Moran and Dickerson. After Andrew McCutchen, the folks around this ball club say that Josh Bell is the face of the franchise. He's great in the community, obviously, and a tremendous talent.
Walking around downtown, Dan, today, that's what you see. You see 55 jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
They love this kid.
Very glib, funny, good with the media. And he hits the ball a mile.
Yeah, that helps.
450 feet plus this season. He's got 5 of them.
Get some. I mean, not right now, but during the season.
calm down over there, Brad.
Against other people.
I get it.
Tell you what, he's had success, obviously, in the big leagues. But last year he wasn't happy. He wasn't just content. He lives in Texas. Normally would go home. Not so much last year. He went to California. He worked out at the Scott Boras complex and worked like crazy. Got bigger, got stronger, got more mobile. I mean, that's quite a recipe right there for a guy.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Big power hitter was in town recently as over the weekend the Pirates honored their 1979 championship club. And Dave Parker had a great quote. He said, "We would have capsized some boats. This is a great hitter's park. We would have loved playing here at PNC." The We Are Family team of '79 as Bell fouls it back. He also was asked about the Pirates and where they're at right now, and he said it hurts. I know what this organization was made of when I first signed in '70. It doesn't go with the tradition the Pirates reflect every year they go out there. And right now, it is among the longest droughts in baseball to win a pennant. Pittsburgh, 39 years. That's it out of play. Willie Stargell's wife was in town to represent their family, and they passed away Willie Stargell, and she loves Josh Bell to the point that she'll text Clint Hurdle and says Josh Bell is the greatest. We love him. And they've got a foundation for what Willie went through, and Josh shows up every year in the offseason. There's a pickoff and a nice pick, that play at the plate by Wieters, but Josh shows up, dialysis center, and visits all the because that's where the money's going. And she said that he will stop at every room and shake hands with everybody.
Special. It is special. Wearing the uniform is one thing and putting up big numbers, but you can have a lot bigger impact than just being a player.
Love it. In the dirt again. How about Wieters in his hands on that pick on the previous pitch? And this one he kept in front as well.
Change up right here from Daniel Ponce de Leon. He knows he can't make a mistake in the strike zone, trying to get a chase under the zone. You're right, Matt Wieters. We've seen a few already in the last couple of weeks where he has saved runs back there.
3-2 pitch to Josh Bell. Marte off with the pitch. There he goes. It's another walk. 2 in the inning, 4 in the game. And another visit from Mike Maddox. 76 pitches already. 4 walks and 2 hits allowed by Daniel, and both hits have been Starling Marte singles. He has struck out 3.
Pirates hitters are doing a good job of making him work, fouling off stuff, especially his fastball up in the zone. I mean, they're taking some good hacks on it. Now the big key for Daniel right now is if he can have one of his off-speed offerings where he can throw it for a strike.
Right now, 10 of the batters for the Pirates have seen 5 or more pitches in their plate appearance. They've made them work, and this is now a season high and career high 4 walks in the ball game. Talked about it earlier, but this is the hot hitter in their lineup. Kubota Power Stats, and the .408 average since the 1st of July for Colin Moran. Struck out on 3 pitches with the bases loaded and 1 out back in the first. There's strike 1. 4 pitches against him, 4 strikes. And Michael Wacha starts to throw. Now Wacha could give you some length in this game. Here's the 0-1 pitch by Daniel. Nothing in 2. Well, there's no pitching backwards with Daniel Ponce de Leon.
He's going right for it. Look, I think that if he had a better feel for some of his off speed today, maybe you'd see some different approaches. But that's what he does, and wouldn't be surprised right now if he just continues to climb the ladder, goes upstairs twice, or maybe waste one off speed pitch down and away if you want to change the eye level. But the out's going to be with the heater.
And the 0-2 fouled back. Marte was running towards third. He would have had that stolen easily. I'm sure the Cardinals will remind Daniel about that.
Yeah, certainly. Look, there are some times where you get so locked in, you know you need to make a pitch. You're one pitch away from getting out of it, but you can't forget about the other things that are going on. The varying your looks, the holding a runner, because you let him get a jump like that little base hit, he's scoring for sure. At least if you hold him tight, you've got a chance.
Here's the 0-2, and there it is. You know, you don't have to throw, but you just got to make sure, hey, I know where you're at.
Yes. Well, that's what we've seen the Cardinals do recently, is just take advantage of the opposition not paying attention. You know, if you're going to prove that you're not going to look, fine, we'll just take the bag.
So here we are in the bottom of the third, and this will be pitch number 80 upcoming. And the 0-2. Jack Flaherty ran into trouble in the fifth inning. He was 2 outs away from qualifying for a win, but Mike Schilt rolled the dice and brought in Giovanni Gallegos with the bases loaded, 1 out, and Giovanni does what Giovanni does. He got out of it.
Talk about somebody that got a shot and has ran with it. I mean, I remember when he came up early in the season, didn't really know what to expect. Now every time he goes out there, I expect him to strike out the world.
It's been awesome. Here's the 0-2. To the point, Brad, with at least 45+ innings of work. He's one of the best rookie relievers in the history of St. Louis Cardinals baseball. The average against Gallegos, 173, second best by a rookie reliever. .77 whip, best. And his strikeout to walk ratio, 8.38. I mean,
dominant.
He's been terrific, and he's stranded 26 of 29. And I mentioned how I talked to John Mozeliak today, and I said, well, could he be a closer in the future? And he said, with the way that you look at the game today, there's no reason to not think about that maybe at some point. Currently it's Carlos Martinez, but that's how good Gallegos has been.
Yeah, well, and you knew when you lost Jordan Hicks for the season with Tommy John surgery, you're going to have guys step up. Not a guy step up, but multiple. And you've seen that. But Giovanni Gallegos has taken major strides.
Into center and a base hit. Munoz, his throw to the plate is strong, but offline just a bit. And scoring, it's Marte, and Colin Moran, the 2-out single, has tied the game at 1. By the way, that'll give you an idea of the arm of Jairo Munoz. He's got a cannon.
He does have a cannon. This is a fastball. It's up in the zone. It's the 7th fastball in a row that Colin Moran saw in this AB, and at some point you knew that he was either going to swing through one or barrel one up. That one just catches too much of the plate.
Adam Frazier erased on the double play. Then Marte the single, walked to Bell. Moran the base hit. So runners at first and second. Bell did not advance even though the throw was high of the cut. And here's Corey Dickerson, strike 1. If he gets an out here, you can send him back for another inning, more than likely. If not, then you're in that territory of, do you send him back out for the 4th? The Cardinals will be 5 spots away from his in the lineup. He had the long 34 pitch first inning, and now it's 0-2 on Dickerson, and this one 33.
Yeah, I feel like if you get to his spot in the lineup, and guys are on in a position. I mean, these games are tight. All these ball games recently have been tight. I feel like even though you don't want to go to the pen that early, it's a move you got to make.
But to counter it, I'd say you've used guys so much.
Yeah.
You know, you do it here. You try to squeeze one inning out of him.
It would certainly be one of those games where you're leaning heavily upon Michael Wacha, and he's going to have to give you innings.
And a ground ball, Colton Wong to Goldschmidt. The Pirates strand a pair, but a 2-out RBI. Colin Moran, his 52nd of the year. Head to the 4th, and we're tied at 1. The debut of Williams, December of 16, and he picked up the win against St. Louis. 3 innings of relief. It's Brandon Moss there. Struck out 3, just 1 run. And that's his dad, who at that time was given weeks, if not days, to live. And Trevor says he watches that video at least once a week, if not more. And he said he fell in love with a game of baseball going to see the Padres play with his dad. Incredible video.
It is. It's awesome. He said, you know, he had never, to that point, not that his dad isn't emotional, but he had never seen him cry until that moment. That's a neat one.
His wife was there. Their newborn was there.
Yep.
And that's one that went against the Cardinals. But you go, you know what? That's okay.
It's a baseball moment. It's a life moment. It's a special one. It's a real moment. I think that oftentimes you look at these guys and they're put on a pedestal, and rightfully so. They're the best in the world at what they do, but they're humans. They have emotions. They have families. They have things. You know, it's cool to see moments like that.
It is. Paul DeYoung grounded out to short back in the 2nd inning. Cardinals have 3 hits, and in there a Matt Wieters home run. 3-1 pitch to the Redbirds shortstop, taken for a strike on the inside corner. Williams has struck out 3, walked 1 tonight. For the moment, Michael Wacha not throwing. Popped up right side, Bell giving chase, and out of play. 2nd inning, the only clean inning for this right-hander. He got DeYoung, Wong, and Munoz, the trio that'll face here in inning number 4. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Missed in, and I mean barely.
It was definitely a ball, but I really thought that Mike Estabrook was going to pull the trigger back there. It's kind of been a little bit erratic behind the plate. He doesn't, and gets something going here.
Williams has had 4 full counts. Daniel Ponce de Leon with 6, and his pitch count now reaching 60 with this delivery to Colton Wong. Hit a soft liner into shallow center that was caught by Kevin Newman, the shortstop, his first time up. And Wong rips it out to right, and it drops and gets by Reynolds. But Wong will stop at first base. It's a tough base running play there for DeYoung. It's a single for Wong. DeYoung had to make sure that that ball got down.
It's a really good play, really good read by Paul DeYoung, because you don't know off the bat. It looks like he's going to be able to get to this thing. It's a changeup. Colton puts a good swing on it. And you see it kick off. DeYoung does a great job reading it, sees the bounce, and takes right off.
Now it brings in Munoz with runners at the corners. Reynolds just got a piece of it. If not, that goes to the wall, and a run scores, and Wong at least a third. Munoz came through with the infield in the ball game yesterday with a 2-strike RBI hit to right. A knack for putting the ball in play, and we've seen that from Gyro. We've also seen a lack of walks, period, which is another element of his game I'm sure he'd love to improve upon. Struck out looking his first time up. And a strike. Munoz came in hitting .306. 3 walks in 109 at bats now. That's it.
He ain't up there to walk.
There you
He's
go.
He's up there swinging.
Michael Wacha, if you get a scoring opportunity, would come in this game and he pinch hit for Daniel Ponce de Leon, and so Michael starts to throw again. One ball, one strike. Runners at first and third. Nobody out in the Cardinals half of the fourth. 2 strikes on Munoz. So the 2-strike approach of Jairo Munoz. Let's see. Can't put that ball in play and drive him in.
There's a good sinker in on his hands, and Trevor Williams has shown a really good feel for his slider today. So, you know, classic pitching 101. The sinker in, the slider away. Got to be able to protect.
One and 2 the count. And the next to the Cardinals center fielder. Instead of check on Wong, who's got 14 steals. One ball, 2 strikes. And again fouled away by Munoz. You think Trevor Williams has got a little look of Bryce Harper? What do you think?
Well, he's got the mean beard going on, and I see a little bit of it under the hat.
So apparently he was having dinner or lunch at a restaurant in the Bronx this offseason, and the waiter thought he was Bryce Harper. And he said, "Hey, don't tell anybody I'm signing with the Yankees." As Munoz strikes out.
Did they pay for his meal?
I don't know.
I hope he got a freebie for that.
He just played along and said, "Yeah,
totally. I'm here. You know why? Yeah,
I'm signing with the Bronx Bombers."
There's that whole slider away we were talking about. Trevor did a very good job of just getting inside. 2 sinkers in off the plate to Munoz. Then gets that slider down the way, gets the punch out.
Matt Wieters, solo home run back in the 3rd. Jose Martinez hops out of the Cardinals dugout, and he'll move to the on deck circle. And the spot occupied by Daniel Ponce de Leon. Nobody on the left side of the infield. You know, Wieters to me has done a really good job of trying to beat the shift, and this is one way to do it. Statcast AI powered by AWS. You can't put somebody up near the river, so that's one way to beat the shift.
That is, but you're right. He's been doing a lot of the other way. He's letting the ball get deep. He's hitting it where it's pitched. And a really nice opportunity here if he gets anything middle away to just shoot it right at the shortstop area.
Previous at bat, which was a 9-pitch at bat, hit the home run on a 3-2, but that's where he was trying to bunt against that shift. Here's the 0-1 and a grounder foul, and it's 0-2. Colton Wong has extended his on base streak to 11 games. And by the way, he's reached base safely in all 9 against Pittsburgh. He's standing at first. DeYoung, after walking, is at third. 0-2 on Wieters. And Wieters again with a fly ball out to right. Catch is made. Runner from third will tag. That's DeYoung, and Matt Wieters is driven in 2 tonight, and it's a 2-1 St. Louis lead.
Another productive at bat. Look, a lot of runs in the big leagues now are scored via the home run. We saw that the first time around for Matt Wieters, but sometimes you got to manufacture. Sometimes you got to get a guy on, get him over, and then get him in, and he does just that. Gets the pitch up in the zone, something that you can put out into the outfield, and once again gives the Cardinals the lead.
So they're going to save Martinez for potential at bat later in the game, and pinch hit Rangel Ravelo, and the night for Daniel Ponce de Leon is through. Four-man bench, one being used right here. Rangel Ravelo. If you're Wong, do you think about running? And the night, a short one for Daniel Ponce de Leon.
Yeah, you know that Ponce is disappointed with that. He was able to limit the damage, but pitch count got up, got away from him way too quickly, and he's attacking. He was battling, just efficiently wasn't his day.
What are those conversations like? You've been there, veteran with the young starter Daniel Ponce de Leon.
There's always time to mentor. There's always time to reassure. There's always time to talk things through, and Adam doing that, talking to him about this game, this outing, how to approach things. It's great to have somebody like that, and the Cardinals have been fortunate over the years to have mentors on the staff.
Good cut on a 2-0 pitch. It was 86 pitches tonight for Daniel, 16 swings and misses, and it's tough, I'm sure, and he probably won't say it, but to adjust to the very tight strike zone. He won't use it as an excuse, but clearly that was, I think, part of the problem.
I think it certainly was, especially early, but you also run into the fact that, he's throwing a ton of fastballs. They fouled off a lot of those fastballs, and then what can you go to after that? What secondary pitch do you have that you feel comfortable in a spot? But I think that's the next step for Daniel Ponce de Leon. It's whether it be, sometimes it's the cutter. We've seen the changeup, a couple of good curveballs here and there, but just got to be getting the feel for another pitch that he can throw for strikes whenever he wants it. But I love to compete. I love how fired up he gets out there. I love how he's not afraid to attack. Sometimes that'll get the pitch count up.
Ravelo to right, coming in. Reynolds, he won't get there. It's a fair ball, and no, ruled foul as we are about 2 miles up here.
It is pretty high up here.
Yeah. And I have my glasses on too. One of the most exciting calls ever of a foul ball coming up. Oh yeah, that was really close.
It was close, Dan.
How did I possibly miss that?
It was good. It's all right. Colton Wong hit one earlier that I thought was a laser in the gap, and the shortstop caught it. So,
well, I did too, I have to admit. When I said that went out to center, and there's the shortstop, Newman. So here we are, right there. Yep, there you go.
It's pretty high up here.
I'd say so.
It's a great view, though.
Beautiful view.
Deceiving, but nice.
That's got a shank. Wait a minute. What? I thought that was fair. 2-2 the count. It's got a shot right there.
It did have a shot.
Well, if you can't make fun of yourself, who can you make fun of, right? I don't make fun of you, though, ever.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Very easy as you're breaking into this role of being a top-notch analyst.
I kind of feel like you're making fun of me now.
No. Nope.
Maybe a little.
And a strikeout of Ravelo. So Williams, a couple of strikeouts, but the sac fly, the RBI for Matt Wieters to bring in DeYoung. To the bullpen we go. St. Louis on top in a 2-1 game.
It's been Dan. The fountain of youth that is Cardinals to 3 series wins after the break. 7 of 9 starters yesterday in Cincinnati, age 25 or younger. I talked to Dexter Fowler earlier about their impact on the club, and he joked, "I'm young. What are you talking about? I'm really young." But he said the future is bright. They bring energy, which is always good, especially this time of year. I call them the Young Bucks. He told me he took them out to dinner last night. He said it was fun to be young again. He said, when I was younger, they did that for me, so I'm just passing it along. Dan.
It's always fun when you visit with Dexter to get his reflections of being a veteran in the game and how things have changed. This is our Chevy call to the pen, and Michael Wacha, that's something that's changed. I talked to Dexter about that the other day, going to your back pocket and looking at the scouting report.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Not something that Dexter Fowler was likely doing in his rookie season, was looking at any scouting reports in game, but certainly the game has changed. I believe that that is so important for a veteran like Dexter Fowler to take some young guys under his wing and help them out and kind of teach them the ropes of things. And special bonding time like that, and I know it sounds silly, but taking a group of guys out to dinner, the storytelling, the camaraderie, the bonding that happens in on the road and in settings like that. I don't know where else you can really get that. I think it's special.
I don't know how bad, or if you were hazed, if you will, as you were called up to the big leagues, but Dexter was telling me, he said, man, the veterans, they were tough on me.
Wore them out?
Oh, he said, but I wouldn't want it any other way. He said that was their way of kind of welcoming me to the team and the big leagues. And he said when things got serious, they would really help him out. But he said, man, he said, I got worn out.
I think something to remember for a young player, and it certainly is different now than it was. You're seeing young players come up. They are instantly making impacts. And you look at baseball right now, the young guys are kind of the faces of the ball game. So it's different. But always try to remind young players that look, if that stuff is happening, it's because guys care. If they're on you, if they're riding your case, because they actually care and see something in you. Oftentimes it's when they just leave you alone totally, where it's like, oh, I guess they don't care as much.
And a ground out. Newman to his counterpart. DeYoung in short.
I never had much of the hazing, though, necessarily. I had my jobs that I knew I had to do out in the bullpen, bring everybody, come loaded up with drinks and all the snacks and all that good stuff, and had to carry stuff on and off the plane. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. I just kind of kept my mouth shut and did my own thing, and then when somebody needed something, I popped out.
What can I do for you?
Either happy to help. Oh, anybody
Yes.
need any coffee? Going to get coffee.
That pitch taken high by Diaz when Dexter broke into the league. Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki, Matt Holliday, they were all veterans. And there's a base hit to the right to Dexter. Diaz 1 for 2 tonight. And the battle will be Trevor Williams, who's got a couple of sacrifices this year. Line on Daniel Ponce de Leon, 86 pitches, 3 innings. 1 run, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks. It's 6 full counts. And Williams gets the bunt down. Reader's calling everybody off. Covering Wong at the bag at first, and the third sacrifice by Williams. Brings in Adam Frazier. So again, the top of the lineup, Frazier walked a couple of times against Daniel Ponce de Leon. Game 4 of the NL Division Series of 2013. And the Cardinals were trailing in the series to the Pirates, and it was a young Michael Wacha on the mound, you may remember. And he had 7 1/3 no-hit innings. No-hit innings. Pedro Alvarez hit his 3rd home run of the series, and that was about all, as Michael was just magnificent in that series, and then the MVP of the postseason of the National League.
That was a fun series. That was a great one, capped off by Adam Wainwright in Game 5.
Yep. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Frazier. Remember, Walker spent minimal time in the minor leagues. Cardinals brought him right up and almost threw a no-hitter against the Nationals. And you know, at that point in time, if memory serves correct, I remember talking to those in the front office, and they were saying, well, you know, we want to be careful with this guy. We think he's very special. And then he went out and almost threw a no-hitter, and they said, well, we'd also like to win the World Series.
Yeah, we're going to run with this.
This guy's pretty good.
Well, he was unhittable, and it was the fastball just straight downhill, the changeup that came out of his hand looking exactly like it.
3-1 the count. The changeup now, is it still as effective for Michael Wacha?
You know what? I don't think it's as consistent as it was before. When he is able to stay on top of it and it dives off the table, it's really good. But we don't see his fastball having that downhill that we always talked about as much. I think that takes away from the changeup a little bit. But he's also, you know, he's developed other pitches. He's developed the cutter, developed the curveball. And I know that this isn't the role that Michael Wacha wants to be in. I mean, he wants to be a starter in the big leagues. He's a free agent after the year. Going to be looking, you know, whether it's with the Cardinals or wherever it is. I mean, that's the role he wants to have. This is a big game for him. This is a big spot. He's handed this ball game with a 1-run lead. You know he wants to lock this thing down.
3-2 pitch, and he walked him. I would have to think, Brad, that scouts are watching this intently with Michael Wacha, as you talked about, the free agent to be, trade deadline just a little over a week away, and if the Cardinals are not going to bring him back, and we don't know what's going to happen, and he doesn't, but if you're looking to add and need a starter, maybe he's the guy, or maybe he's the guy that goes back in the rotation for the Cardinals. You just don't know.
No, but that's the thing when you're up against the trade deadline, man. There's so many different variables, and there's so many different teams that, you know, everybody has needs. Everybody sees different things. They might see a guy like Michael Wacha and say, heck, we get him over to our place. We know exactly what we do with him. We throw him in our, you know, in our rotation and be good to go. And maybe the Cardinals think the same thing. I mean, so much up in the air.
Runners at first and second. And also, you know, you hear many times where teams say, well, we have acquired player X, and in particular pitching, because we saw something and we think we can help him and get him over the hump. I mean, Ray Searage has done that with a number of reclamation projects here in Pittsburgh.
He has, for sure. Unfortunately for Ray Searage, he gets these guys fixed and then they trade him off.
That happens a lot.
It will.
That's drilled out to right and off the wall. Played by Fowler. 1 run will score. And they'll hold up the next runner. And with that, it's a 2-2 game. Brian Reynolds just hammered that pitch off the chain link fence in right, which is 21 feet high, in honor of Roberto Clemente.
This one just belt high. It's inner half. 95. We got some good giddy up on it, but just not well placed.
So the 2-out RBI by Reynolds. He's now driven in 39. Runners at second and third. Starling Marte 2 for 2. Pair of singles. And ball 1. 2-2 game here in the 4th inning. 1 strike. Now you're mentioning downward plane, if you will, and Walker here working out of the stretch. He even has talked about not being quite as tall, if you will, in his delivery, which is a tall guy that can offset the angle and make it even better with the fastball and the changeup.
Yeah, sometimes you see guys that have a tendency to kind of shrink into their motion, into their delivery, and he drives with the leg a little bit, but I think that when we saw him first come into the league, he was a tad bit more upright. That arm stayed up a little bit higher and was able to create that angle.
So with 2 more hits, with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, that's how both runs have scored for Pittsburgh. They're now hitting .285 in that spot. Best in baseball. The 2-1 pitch to Marte. Just missed. 3-1. On the bench for the Pirates, Melky Cabrera, switch hitter, then Gung, Osuna, and Stallings. Stallings, the backup catcher. 3-1 to count. Full count. Josh Bell on deck. The 9th full count here for St. Louis pitching in this game. 9, and we're with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. And a ground ball taken there by Wong, leaving Bell on deck. Pirates strand a pair, but the 2-out double hit by the rookie Brian Reynolds has tied it up 2-2. For T-Mobile's Connect the Game, Brandon Woodruff, All-Star, is headed to the injured list. Strained oblique. Dodgers 9-0 win over Miami. Walker Buehler 7 shutout innings. And they're running away with the West, the Dodgers. They're 16 games up after yesterday's 3rd win in a row. And the wild card getting interesting. 4 teams entering play tonight within 1 game at that wild card spot. Washington, they've had a resurgence, and Milwaukee. And then after that, half game out in the wild card, the Cardinals and the Phillies also a half game out. Top of the lineup, Tommy Edman.
That Brandon Woodruff injury is a big deal.
Sure is.
It is a big deal. They were already struggling as far as starting pitching goes, and any of the rumors have them out there linked to pretty much every starter that's out there. But Woodruff had been their most consistent guy. So if he ends up being on the shelf for a while, I mean, you kind of have to make a move. Although we thought that about the Brewers last year, didn't we? And then they go ahead and Moustakas and Jonathan Scope, and it worked out pretty well for them.
Scope was
but the overall move, the idea of
Moustakas, yes.
Yeah, well, the idea of adding to your strength. I mean,
exactly.
They knew what they did well, and they went for it.
The Pirates last year pulled the trigger on the Archer deal. Meadows, Glasnow, and Neil Huntington, their GM, said at the time, I have to honor the club for what they've done. As Edman pops it up against the shift. Long way to go here, but Moran dropped it. Moran dropped it, and he did that in St. Louis in fair territory, and it cost the Pirates, and that'll be his 10th error of the year.
He gets there, plenty of time, gets camped under it, just hits him right in the heel. Ooh, new life.
Boy, last week Dickerson struggled and left at Busch Stadium. Moran had a drop.
2 hands, kids.
And Williams catching his breath as he was chasing after that. Looks like he just caught that sunflower seed he spit out of his mouth.
Well, he got to practice.
So Neil Huntington says, I need to honor the team for what they've done. And it was like 5 or 6 wins right before the break. And then they won 5 out of the break, and that's when they made that deal and pulled the trigger to bring Archer here to Pittsburgh. So 1-2 the count on Tommy Edman. And Edman hits it to second, taken there by Frazier. Tommy 1 for 3 tonight in the top spot in the Cardinal lineup. Most innings pitched by relievers, and that's again another reason why that is a big loss for them. How about the Giants? They're now 2.5 out in the wild card.
Isn't that crazy? So I thought that they for sure, like 100% for sure, had to trade Madison Bumgarner. And even as late as like a week ago, it was like, you know what? Yeah, they're on a little bit of a surge, but come on, you know what you are. Now, I'm not so sure. You're close. Bochy's on his way out. Bumgarner's dealing right now. Well, maybe you just make a run and hope for some more magic.
Fowler, base hit into right, just over the glove of Frazier. The one thing I would bring up with that is that it's new management running the baseball side, and there is no connection to those winning teams. Now, if you're the GM or president of baseball operations and Madison Bumgarner was your guy and got you those 3 rings, he stays put.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, you think about the Giants now, 2.5 out. Do you give Bruce Bochy all the chance in the world to go out as a team that at least has a shot in the conversation of the playoffs?
It's so interesting. It really is of which way you want to look at it, because I do believe that the move that makes sense for San Francisco is to build towards the future. You can get some building blocks for the guys that you have. Plenty of people interested in Madison Bumgarner, certainly, and teams that are, you know, trying to win a World Series this year. Not to say the Giants aren't one of those 2.5 games out. Will Smith out in the bullpen, also one of those guys. Tony Watson. I mean, there are plenty of guys that other clubs would have interest in. I don't know. It's a tough decision to make.
Tell you what, Will Smith would look pretty good in that Cardinals uniform.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm in.
You're in.
I like Will Smith.
Fowler at first base. He's 2 for 3 with a double into the corner in right and a soft liner just moments ago to right field. Here's Goldschmidt. Walked last time up. But no Molina, no Ozuna, no Carpenter. The Cardinals are hanging in there. The left-handed batter's 5 for 9 tonight against Williams, and that's been the base hits. Right-handers 0 for 8. And the 0-2 pitch to Goldschmidt. Struck him out. And strikeout number 6 for Trevor Williams.
Well, this is how teams have been going after Paul Goldschmidt. It's a well-placed fastball in, and I'll tell you, Trevor Williams has had his struggles coming into this one ever since being on the IL a month and a half ago. But he is spotting up his fastball a lot better. The slider looks as good as it's looked in a long time, and he has had the Cardinals number throughout his career, and certainly tonight's in control. Even though he's given up 2 runs, he looks pretty good.
Now Tyler O'Neill. A pick off and back in safely. Fowler. Williams missed 32 games in May and June. He had a strained right oblique. 9 starts before the injured list. He was 2-1. And the 4 starts after, the ERA of 9.53. But better tonight. One ball, 1 strike. So the lefties, the 5 hits tonight for the Cardinals. And time called. O'Neill twice his fly to right. And running on the pitch, Fowler And thankfully O'Neill did not swing, and Dexter has stolen base number 5. And sometimes I say you literally could walk there. Well, might have been able to walk there.
That's about as good as a jump as you're going to get right there. You could hear his first baseman, third baseman, catcher, everybody yelling step off.
So stolen base number 5, first of the ball game for either side. And Fowler's first since June 6th. The 2-1 pitch to O'Neill.
All right, so that was a count right there. He was in a hitter's count. He was looking for a fastball. He gets the slider, swing and miss. 2-2, you got to be able to protect. This is about shortening up a little bit. It's not about the hitting a mammoth home run.
Another slider. We've seen a steady diet of those. A right-hander throwing in the pen for Pittsburgh, and that's Clay Holmes. Three and 2 the count. Fowler, the go-ahead run at second base. We're tied 2-2. In time called. Pitch count. This will be number 90 coming up for Williams. And the Pirates will have Bell, Moran, Dickerson due up. The next to O'Neill. Slams his helmet down in frustration, and back-to-back strikeouts. Trevor Williams stranding Fowler in a 2-2 game. Let's take a look at this 2-2 game and the bullpen since Hicks went out with the injuries done for the year, but Gallegos, Brebbia, Miller, Martinez have picked it up.
We said it at the time, it was going to take more than one guy. You don't just make a lateral move and say, oh look, we're good to go. We plugged the hole in the 9th inning. A lot of guys have stepped up.
Into the shift, and Bell doesn't run. Apparently he may have looked like slipped out of the box, but one pitch, one out. He's slow walking back to the Pirate dugout.
Well, I'll tell you, it must have slipped or something. You don't see that from Josh Bell very often. It's not that he's not one of those guys that doesn't leg some stuff out coming out of the box. And
well, I see that. I think Ryan Howard.
At least he was able to walk off under his own power right there. Certainly something to keep an eye on. That's scary, though.
He looked at, he was walking
he went down
gingerly back to the dugout, and they could ill afford to lose him, even though he's struggling. He's going to get it back, and a threat in their lineup. Here's Colin Moran, 1 for 2. And a look at Bell, the first pitch reaching for it and grounding out. Didn't look like he slipped either.
No, it's kind of hard to tell which leg specifically he broke down on.
The last 8 Pittsburgh outs all have been ground outs, and this is a team that hits the ball on the ground more than any other team in the major leagues. So there's a premium here on infield defense in these 4 games against the Pirates if you're the Cardinals. A little bit low. There's one of those 55 jerseys in the background that you were speaking of.
Yeah, seriously, heading over to the ballpark today, just walking around downtown. I mean, you see so many of them. He is the face of this team, and an exciting one to watch. Just got to hope he's all right after that swing.
Michael Feliz getting loose in the Pirates pen. Right-hander, there he is. If they did trade away Felipe Vasquez, you better be pretty sure that Cal Crick could close some games out in the future. Maybe Richard Rodriguez. He's got a big arm.
I think it just kind of depends on what you think your plan is. Do you believe that next year's the year if you get the right pieces, or are you a couple of years away? I know that Neil Huntington, as you mentioned earlier, said, hey, look, I'm not making phone calls to see what people want for him, but if you get the right deal, and you might, I mean, you might get somebody to call you and say, look, we're going to give you the world. He is on an extremely team-friendly contract. He's got 2 more years. I believe he signed 4 years, $22 million.
Pretty good deal for a dominant closer.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. And then after that deal, he's got 2 years of options at $10 million apiece. So you think that teams would be very willing to give up some assets to get him. See, another guy that I would believe that Neil Huntington is going to receive some phone calls about, and I think that he's a really intriguing player, while maybe he hasn't hit his ceiling yet, is Starling Marte. I think that Starling Marte has got that unique combination of speed, of power, and you know, they've got him for a couple of more years under contract. If you get the right thing, do you think about even moving a guy like Marte?
He can flat out play.
He can play, yes.
Moran is hung in there with some borderline pitches going his way, some foul balls, and worked the count to 3-2. He had a 2-out RBI single to center field back in the 3rd to drive in Starling Marte.
Uncle on the full count.
10 of them. Fly ball into left center. Munoz calling off O'Neill and makes the catch. And that is out number 2. Reminder, Christmas in July night returns to Busch Stadium. That's a Wednesday, July 31st, presented by Holiday World and Splashin' Safari. Fans who purchase a special themed ticket receive an exclusive Fred on a sled. Corey Dickerson had an 8-pitch at bat, resulted in a strikeout in the 1st, and grounded out to second, 0 for 2. Whacks that out to center. Munoz going back and makes the catch on the line out. Made it look easy. So Michael Wacha, 1-2-3. And it's 2-2. Chevy called to the pen. Michael Feliz, 1 day of rest coming into this. 90 pitches for Trevor Williams. He went 5 innings, couple of runs on 5 hits, struck out 7, walked 2. Wieters hit a home run. And this, our Chevy called to the pen. Michael Feliz. Cardinals have Paul DeJong. He's walked and scored tonight, also grounded out. Then Wong and Munoz. We're tied 2-2 here in the top of the 6th. And the first pitch is strike.
That pitch away to a right-hander has kind of been a flip a coin today. That one off the plate, at least it seemed to be, by a wide margin. Sets him up pretty well. He's got a good slider also.
0-2. DeJong shaking his head.
Well, Paul DeJong's thinking, I can't cover both of those things. Hyundai pitch arsenal here. Fastball, mid-90s, good slider. Every once in a while you'll see the changeup from Michael Feliz.
0-2 pitch, and he struck him out. Cardinals have struck out 8 times in this ball game tonight.
Well, sets him up really well. He gets the call on the first pitch fastball away, paints in, and then throws the slider right off of it.
Here's Colton Wong. He's 1 for 2. And looks at a ball. Single to right last time up.
I don't think the battle of the bullpens is necessarily something the Cardinals wanted to get into in this one, as much as they've been working. Colton Wong been heating up, getting that average up quite a bit.
Feliz was acquired in the Garrett Cole deal. Cole going to Houston. And Feliz coming back here to Pittsburgh. He spent some time in the minor leagues. Also was on the injured list, had shoulder irritation. now coming out of their pen. 2 balls and 1 strike. Feliz was recalled to the big league club back on the 8th of June. Rookie Davis was placed on the injured list. Nick Kingham designated for assignment, and that opened up the spot for this right-hander. 2 balls, 1 strike. 3-1.
It's a situation right here for Colton Wong. He's been putting the ball in play. He's going the other way. He's in a count right now where he can unleash a little bit. 3-1. You're likely to get a fastball. You see something up. It's extra base hit time.
Full count. Both Cardinal runs have been scored. The batter leading off the inning. Finding his way on base. That was Wieters with a home run. DeYoung with a walk, and then was brought in. And Wong grounds it to Bell off his glove. Colton hustling, and he beats it out on a throw that's wide. And again, Bell, he's slow to get up. That'll be an error. And that'll be his 7th of the year, and he has not looked comfortable at all tonight.
No, he doesn't look steady on his feet on this one. Gets caught in between. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's unrelated, but just did not look comfortable right there. Pirates don't appear to be overly concerned, though. So
no. They did check on him after the at bat, the bottom half of last inning, but he kind of waved off everybody, said he was okay. Munoz 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts, making a start in center field. He taps it foul. Most errors the Pirates have committed in a ball game is 4. Did that at Milwaukee and also at Chicago at Wrigley. It's the 6th time this year, 3 or more errors by the Pirates, and they're 1-4 in those games. Brebbia up in the pen, and Munoz hits it up the middle. Frazier to first, and it's a double play. Midway through 6. 2-2. Brought to you by Budweiser, where secondary MLB moments happen. Budweiser will be there. Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University physicians, national leaders in medicine. And by Ford, the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. Beautiful shot there of PNC Park back here in Pittsburgh. Michael Walkup. And a leadoff base hit, Kevin Newman. Newman, the first batter that Walkup faced in relief of Daniel Ponce de Leon back in the 4th. Go ahead run aboard. Elias Diaz called out on strikes, single to right, and scored in the 4th. Couple of long series, 4 games with the Reds, 4 here with the Pirates. Sometimes those things in your division, that can get nasty.
Yeah, it really can. And hopefully for the Cardinals, you end up catching the Pirates at the right time. I mean, this has been competitive. It's been back and forth, but 2 teams that are trending in completely opposite directions. Cardinals have been playing very good baseball, figuring out ways to win in the second half. Has not been the case for the Pirates. And 2 teams that probably have 2 different ideas as the trade deadline approaches. But you're right, it doesn't matter. Look, you play 4 games against a division foe. There are going to be some battles.
Melky Cabrera at the on-deck circle. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Wieters throw, and got him. The soft hands of Wong with the pick and the tag. 2-4, caught stealing. The Budweiser play of the game. Nicely done on both ends.
Kevin Newman has got some wheels. Clean pick by Wieters. Same thing right here by Colton Wong. Lays the tag right on him. What a play right there.
And Wieters appreciates Wong. And so does Michael Wacha. And that's hit out of play down the right field line.
Changes his whole inning.
Yes, it does.
Get the leadoff guy on. Be able to get out of that. Now it's time to bury this guy. You got Diaz down 0-2.
Wieters has thrown out, by the way, 46% of base stealers this year. 46. And really in his first year of being a backup, trying to stay sharp, keep the arm strong. It's a credit to him. Now there are other factors with it. A pick by Wong, maybe a pitcher holding and disrupting the rhythm of the runner, but still, any way you want to slice it, 46% is 46%.
Been really good. I bet there are a lot of ball clubs out there right now, and there are plenty of teams that have had a shortage of catching that are a little mad at themselves from not picking up the phone and calling Matt Wieters this offseason.
And it is worth repeating, as he said to us, well, no one wanted me.
Yeah, no,
that's why I'm here.
Yeah, what made you pick St. Louis? They called.
Yeah, and he was brutally honest about it too. Here's a 2-2 pitch and a grounder foul.
I think that he's done a great job in limited action. I think Andrew Kisner's done a very good job as well, filling in for Yadier Molina.
And a swing and a miss. Good pitch by Wacha as he picks up his first strikeout. By the way, Matt Wieters is now tied with Molina for caught stealings with 6 as we check in with Erica.
Dan, you guys were just talking about Matt Wieters and the job that he and Andrew Kisner have done. Combined 57% throwing out of attempted base stealers. Something I talked to Mike Schild about before the game. He says you talk about high stolen base percentage, so people aren't running, but when they do, we throw them out. We talk about our high double play conversion rate being the best in baseball, playing clean baseball, get the cutoff man, they execute their rundowns, doing the little things, and Matt Wieters certainly doing that with Yadier Molina being on the bench.
Absolutely. Now teams will not run against Yadi, and maybe teams are going to think twice about running on Wieters and Kisner.
They should for sure. And look, it's more than just the catcher, as you mentioned, and Wieters has done great. But that's a big thing, and it's a little thing, but it's a huge thing. It is varying your times, being quick to the plate. Varying your looks over to first base, showing that you have a good pickoff move. There's a lot that goes into holding the base runners down. The Cardinals pitchers have done a great job, and certainly their catchers have done great as well, being able to limit any time they do go. Because you would think too, when you're facing the Cardinals and you see anybody that's not named Yadier Molina behind the plate, maybe you think to yourself as a would-be base stealer, all right, well, this is my day.
Take a shot.
Nah, not so much.
Here's Jose Osuna, the pinch hitters. They pulled back Cabrera, and with the caught stealing, that's why you were talking about it changes the complexion of the inning, because Cabrera probably hits in this spot. They've got Gung, who's got power, and instead of using Cabrera in this spot with 2 outs, nobody on, they're going to wait. And a ground ball taken there and gloved by Edman. And Michael Wacha, 3 innings. And Matt Wieters, a caught stealing, a home run tonight. And when you do that, you're due up first in the 7th. New baseball rule. He's the other, the closer, Bez. Feliz had the 6th. And a scoreless 6th inning to keep this 2-2. Liriano will go in the 9th spot. The lineup for the Pirates after the pinch hitting appearance by Osuna. They ground out to 3rd. Honda home run inning. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri if the Cardinals hit a home run. It'll be Wieters, then Michael Wacha's spot, so a pinch hitter. and Tommy Edman. Matt Wieters with a 9-pitch at bat that resulted in a home run back in the 3rd. And a sac fly that gave the Cardinals a short-lived 2-1 lead. But he's driven in both tonight. Matt Wieters. This side of the plate, hitting 138, but 3 home runs. Harrison Bader has moved to the on-deck circle.
Tell you what, this game is very, very fortunate. The Cardinals are fortunate that it's only 2-2. I mean, the Pirates had bases loaded in the 1st inning, have had a few opportunities. Fortunately, they've been able to bear down, make some pitches.
Williams 90 pitches for the Pirates in 5 innings. Feliz the scoreless 6th, and now Francisco Liriano. He's been around a long time.
14 years of doing it. One of the I mean, when he was a starter with the Twins, unhittable, has carved himself out quite a career. Nasty movement on the fastball. See that good sink to it. The slider is almost unhittable.
Good changeup as well. On the bench for the Cardinals, Bader, Kisner, Martinez. 2-2 our score here in the top of the 7th. And a 1-2 pitch in the dirt. 2-2. Inside, just missed, and welcome to the game, Francisco. You're not going to get that call. Three and 2 the count on Matt Wieters. And Wieters chops it to 3rd, backhanded by Moran. The long throw and the first out. Pride Night returns to Busch Stadium Friday, July 26th. Purchase of a special theme ticket, you'll receive a Cardinals rainbow tank top. Get your Pride Night tickets, cardinals.com/theme. Harrison Bader, the pinch hitter. Got the start, the finale against the Reds yesterday. And ideally, with these types of matchups, you want Bader, even though it hasn't been great this year, in his short major league history, better against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, he has been, and you're right, the splits are kind of backwards for Harrison this year. But if you got to pick a spot, I'd rather be in a situation where he's not going to get that slider going down and away from him. Now he'll still get the changeup, and that's something he's going to have to keep an eye on. That's it right there.
Be interesting if the Cardinals, in a tight game late, if Munoz gets some starts, that Bader then stays in the game, and then you could move Munoz either out or over, however you want to play it. And a strikeout of Bader, with his versatility, that could be an infield player, that could be anywhere.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know, for instance, you got Tommy Edman here coming up, and if he would make it out, you know, you put Munoz somewhere else, keep Bader in the game. We'll see.
That's why managers love to be able to build their team with versatile players. You know, you got a guy in Munoz that can play anywhere in the infield, can play anywhere in the outfield. I mean, put him anywhere on the diamond. Tommy Edman bounces all over the infield. We've seen him in the outfield.
Asked the Cubs about Ben Zobrist and how valuable his versatility was, and that's what you get in the National League. Is Tyler Webb is throwing in the Cardinal pen, recalled here recently, and you've got Frazier, then Reynolds a switch hitter, and Marte coming up. So, you know, if Edman would make it out here, pitcher could go in that spot and try to get some length with that in your lineup, and that's something that would be missing if you do bring the DH into the National League.
I don't want it, Dan.
I don't either. The 2-0 pitch, and Edman chops it to third. Ooh, he held on to it, almost snuck out of the glove of Colin Moran. Tommy Edman 1 for 4 tonight. Liriano has a 1-2-3 time to stretch. Webb coming on when we come back. By the authority of the St. Louis, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Tyler Webb in relief of Michael Wacha. Michael came in the 4th and went 3 innings, 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 1 and walked 1, and now Webb or Chevy called to the pen.
Thought Michael Wacha settled in really well after a little bit longer 4th inning. Gave the Cardinals some much needed innings, and look, here we go. It's going to be a battle. This Cardinal bullpen has been worked a ton. Let's see what they got.
First major league appearance since July 6th for Webb. I was in the San Francisco Giants series on the West Coast. 1 ball, 1 strike. Adam Frazier has drawn 3 walks tonight. He came in having walked just 20 times in 338 at bats. You got Frazier here, and then Reynolds, the switch hitter, bats .314 from the right side, .340 left, and then Marte. So it could be just a 2-batter appearance for Webb. We'll see. Two and 2 the count. Slapped the other way, and O'Neill with the catch. With the center fielder Munoz diving behind him just in case.
That's good backup.
Yeah, it is.
Said I had you.
I guess you appreciate the hustle, the effort.
Yeah, certainly. First things first, communication definitely has to be there. He can't hear him from there, though. O'Neill's definitely got the beat on that. Look, he's happy to be out there. He's trying to chase everything down.
Brian Reynolds, the double off the wall and right, and looks at a ball. That scored the 2nd run for the Pirates off of Michael Wacha. Boy, is this strike zone tight or what?
That's one that Tyler Webb,
he's got to have it.
Yeah, he needs that one at the bottom of the zone.
Bullpen checking out the replay, and Jairo Munoz, the diving attempt on a catch made by O'Neill.
I'm sure those guys probably just kept their opinion to themselves too. Probably hadn't been yelling at him the whole time at all.
You wouldn't do that out there.
Oh, never. Probably didn't start a slow clap or anything for him.
Another pitch that could have gone Tyler Webb's way.
Yeah, it's a strike.
And then you have to put one right down the middle, and major league hitters don't miss those usually.
Just a time in the ball game, and I realize that the strike zone has kind of been a little bit erratic today, but you got to have those. Can't be missing those.
3-1 pitch, and it's backhanded by Wong, playing up the middle, throws off balance for the out. It's 2 hard hit balls, but 2 outs. The batter will be Starling Marte. McDonald's Ticket Fest back for this season. You can purchase tickets to see the Cardinals and Cubs at Busch Stadium July 30th through August 1st. $10 seats, cardinals.com/McDonald's. Rodriguez throwing in the pen for Pittsburgh. Brebbia for St. Louis. Thought this might be just a 2-batter appearance, but they're going to let Webb face Marte with 2 outs and nobody on. 10 Pittsburgh ground ball outs, and we thought that could be a key in this series as they hit more grounders than anybody else. That's line foul. Loud. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marte is singled to right, singled in the third to left, and scored on the 2-out RBI by Moran, and also grounded out to second with 2 runners on.
See what those ground outs will certainly come into play the next couple of days. Dakota Hudson on the bump, gets tons of ground balls. Adam Wainwright can get them as well.
Out to shallow center, and the catch made by DeYoung. Nice play by the all-star shortstop Paul DeYoung. As he takes a hit away from Marte. If that ball drops, maybe he winds up at second with his speed. And Munoz charging in as well, and Wong. 2-2. Rodriguez game. Our Chevy called to the pen. Remember, he pitched in St. Louis, came in with the bases loaded, nobody out, and got out of that jam. The 1 win for the Pirates in that series. 2-2 our score. The Cardinals in this ball game, they've stranded 5, and the Pirates have stranded 7. And both bullpens have done a nice job. For the Cardinals, it's Michael Wacha with 3 innings, 1 run. Webb, pitcher of record, with 1 inning under his belt, no damage done. And here's Dexter Fowler, who has 2 hits tonight. A double in the right field corner. A strikeout swinging, hit a soft liner to right field, then stole his 5th of the year and was left stranded back in the 5th inning, and a shift on the right side. All the hits have been from the left side of the plate for St. Louis. 5 hits from their left-handed batters. There's a strike on Dexter Fowler. Fowler, Goldschmidt, O'Neill here in the top of the 8th of this 2-2 game.
But he is likely to get a diet of fastballs. I mean, that's what Rodriguez likes to throw to lefties.
Inside corner, 0-2.
Pretty good pitch right there. Show him that fastball away and then be able to spot up inside.
Fowler, a swing and a miss. That's the 10th Cardinal strikeout tonight.
Well, it's all heaters in this AB. It was away, it was in, it was away again. It's 92. It's off the plate, and it's up a little bit. Dexter can't lay off and can't get to the bat to it.
Here's Goldschmidt, his walk tonight, 0 for 2. The fastball up in the zone at 93.
Dan, I guess if you're looking for a positive out of all the strikeouts that the Cardinals have tallied up today, they did punch out 15 times yesterday and found out a way to win the ball game.
Yes, they did. It's really a trend, though, in Major League Baseball. Just the strikeouts pile up. It's part of the game today. And Richard Rodriguez really is one of the best kept secrets in the game. A career minor leaguer before getting a cup of coffee with Baltimore in 2017. Broke out last year with Pittsburgh at a 2.47 ERA. And now pitching in late innings as Goldschmidt lines it foul. These two teams, and it began with the home opener for the Pirates. This ballpark, it was freezing in that game, freezing that series. All these games seem to be tight between St. Louis and Pittsburgh.
It's a good battle. It's a good division. I mean, I know the records might not be exactly where people expected them to be, but these games are competitive.
And Goldschmidt, a swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for the Cardinal first baseman tonight. Our Budweiser, what's on tap? Dakota Hudson, Chris Archer, and we'll come your way at 5:30. You may remember it was in the day game last week in St. Louis when Archer left the field. There was some jawing going back and forth with the Cardinal dugout and Chris Archer. We'll see if that carries over to tomorrow. As O'Neill looks at a ball, he's 0 for 3. Here's Chris Archer. Pirates will have Bell, Moran, and Dickerson. Could be another inning for Webb because Bell 247 from the right side and then back-to-back lefties. We'll see. The 2-0 pitch to O'Neill. A strike.
That's the one right there. You're in a hitter's count, fastball count. You get one down the middle. You got to be ready to pull the trigger.
Rodriguez really pitching well since May. Scoreless outings in 20 of his last 21. And O'Neill grounds it to third, taken there by Moran. Cardinals go in order. We move to the bottom of the 8th, and Bell, Moran, Dickerson coming up in a 2-2 game. And stream games live. Mobile device, download the Fox Sports Go app, log in and stream the Cardinals. Here's Bell, and right back up the middle, and what a play by Colton Wong. Almost took Webb's head off, and then Wong again with the soft hands. Watch this. Oh.
I mean, that is scary. Up the middle, well positioned is Colton Wong, and picks it like we're used to. Hey, you remember when that used to be a hit?
Yes.
Remember back in the day,
like 5 years ago,
when there wasn't anybody standing right there. They didn't know exactly where you were going to hit the baseball.
Well, 3 of the 4 outs have been scorched, and they're going to send up for Moran, Jung Ho Kang. Tremendous power. So going with the right-hander here. This maybe tells you about the state of the Cardinal bullpen.
It certainly does. And look, Webb is doing a good job. He's battling. He's getting his outs. But I think that the way that the bullpen's being deployed just tells you, look, they've got a lot of guys that have been used quite a bit. And you're in a tie ball game right now, so you never know how long you're going to have to stretch out your pitching staff. You got to be able to get extra innings out of certain guys. That's why it's going to be imperative here going forward to get innings. I mean, Dakota Hudson's going to have to get deeper into the ball game. Starters in general for the Cardinals are going to have to get deeper and deeper because the bullpen has been a big strength. But if you keep working them, they might start bending. You know, you have to go to guys way too often.
Left on the bench, Cabrera and Stallings for the Pirates after this plate appearance. Crick getting loose in the Pirate bullpen. And the 3-1 fouled back. Boy, does he take a vicious rip. He was swinging on 3-0. There 3-1. Now a full count. The left-handed batter, Dickerson, on deck. The 3-2 pitch, and he struck him out. Comes back to get him. From 3-0 to a strikeout for Tyler Webb.
Well, you can tell here Kang is looking for something else. He's looking off speed away. He gets fastball middle down. And a great job by Tyler Webb to get right back into that.
Pirates have struck out 5 times tonight. And here is Dickerson. He has struck out 8-pitch at bat. Back in the first, grounded to second, lined out to center. Webb is 1 out away from 2 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. The Cardinals looking ahead to the 9th will have DeYoung, Wong, and Munoz due up. Left on their bench, Kisner and Jose Martinez. 2-2 our score in a good ball game. And the 1-0 pitch to Corey not getting those calls. The 2-0. Updated now, 21 innings from the Cardinal bullpen on this road trip, and we're only playing in game 5 of 8 away from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Some tired guys probably down there.
For sure. And well, and at 21 innings, it's only 19 in the third then from the starters. That ain't going to cut it going forward.
2-1 pitch. 2-2. But I'm sure Mike Schild, as you know, Brad, I mean, manager comes to you and he'll say, do you have one guy? Do you have an inning? Can I get 2 out of you? And he's got an idea of where he wants to go, maybe, and how the game develops. But who is potentially available and who's completely off limits? The 2-2 pitch to Dickerson, fouled back.
Well, and to your point, you never know exactly how those conversations are going. But you'd have to believe that Giovanni Gallegos, at the very least, is a guy that they'd like to stay away from. Went an inning and 2/3 yesterday. Went an inning and 2/3 on Friday as well.
Those two might be talking about it right now. Two balls, 2 strikes. The next by Webb. Full count. And Newman on deck, right-handed batter. Dickerson has got some power. He's got 19 home runs coming into this ball game. The 3-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. Three and 2. And again out of play. Extended outing here for Tyler Webb. This will be pitch number 29 coming up. Does he have one more in him? You'd like to think so.
Oh, absolutely. They needed to extend him. He has stepped up big time. That work ain't over yet.
Ponce de Leon, it took him 86 pitches to get through 3. Then Michael Wacha, 3 innings. Webb has gotten 5 outs, looking for number 6. He's going to get it. Popped up. DeYoung makes the catch in shallow left. Nice work. Tyler Webb, 6 up, 6 down out of the Cardinal pen. DeYoung, Wong, and Munoz coming up in a 2-2 game in the ninth. To get your seats, home official partner of the Cardinals, even after the first pitch. Think StubHub for tickets. The 5th pitcher used by Clint Hurdle tonight will be Kyle Crick. And he pitched yesterday in their loss against the Phillies. Our Chevy called to the pen. Opponents only hitting .206 against him, and Wainwright, good fastball and slider.
Yeah, mid-90s with the fastball, but the slider is that's his out pitch. That's his swing and miss. There have been plenty of swing and miss in this ball game.
Gung stays in the ball game after pinch hitting for Moran and striking out. He'll play third base. It'll be DeYoung, Wong, Munoz. The Pittsburgh pen, 3 innings, no hits, 4 strikeouts. First pitch to DeYoung. Taken for a strike. Paul tonight is grounded out to short, walked and scored, and struck out. Shift on the left side, the 0-1. And a chopper and a foul ball. Nothing and 2. Crowd tonight 13,096. 13096 here at Game 1. PNC Park of this 4-game series. And the 0-2 got him. There's that slider, and he chased, and 12 strikeouts in the Cardinal lineup.
Threw a slider to start DeYoung off, one that started at him and ended up as a strike. This one starts away, goes even further, but he hides it so well it looks like the fastball coming out of his hand, and once you start to offer on that thing, it's too late.
7th inning or later, Colton Wong, 339 the average. 3rd best in the National League behind Christian Yelich. 427 Yelich, 7th inning or later. Then Bellinger, and those are your 2 MVP candidates, and then Colton Wong. 0-2. Wong tonight hit a soft liner to center field, single to right, and reached on an air by Bell. The Pirates have committed 3 errors in the game. 0-2 the count.
That pitch right there was filthy. Backdoor slider there. I mean, not much you can do.
See a right-hander go to the left back foot of a left-handed batter. That's when it's buried.
Well, and to be able to throw that pitch like he did the one before, to go backdoor and then go back foot, just shows how much control he's got with that slider.
And Wong puts it in play. 2 hops to Adam Frazier. Out number 2. Cardinals, when tied after 8, are 4-2 this year. The Pirates 7-4. And now 2 outs, and the batter will be Jairo Munoz, getting the start in center tonight. He's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and grounded into a double play. Cardinals have 2 relievers and 2 right-handers throwing in the pen. Strike 1 on Munoz. That's one he'd like to have back. He hung that just a little bit. You know, think about guys that throw that slider a lot. They're not always perfect, and you get those cement mixers, and major league hitters don't miss many of those.
It can be dangerous. I think the first pitch that he threw to DeYoung was a hittable one, but you're not looking for that. I mean, you're not looking for the slider for a strike first pitch.
Carlos Martinez throwing just in case. If the Cardinals take the lead, you would assume he comes in. If not, it's John Brebbia. Inside, 2-1. Newman, Diaz, and the pitcher Crick due up. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th.
About time for a right-hander to get a hit. 0 for 18 tonight.
The 2-1 pitch. Matt Wieters on deck. He's driven in both runs tonight, 3-1. Both bullpens, Brad, have been very good.
Both pens have been aggressive.
Yeah.
Attacking, limiting the walks.
Frustration, I'm sure, there from Munoz. That would have been ball 4 instead of full count.
He's been tied up on that pitch a couple of times today. It's one where he can do some big time damage on fastballs on the inner half of the plate, but it's very hard for him to lay off of the ones, you know, that are just in off. It's kind of hard to recognize.
3-2. Got the slider and struck him out. 2 for Crick in the inning. 2-2. Brebbia in to pitch for St. Louis. Chevy called to the pen, and Mike Schilt going with the right-hander here.
Cardinals bullpen has been strong so far. Brebbia with 3 days of rest, and look, has been a guy that Cardinals have leaned on. Opponent average only 198. He's been really good. It shows a lot of swing and miss stuff, and gonna need a little bit of that here.
So Brebbia will go in the 7th spot in the Cardinal lineup because Jose Martinez takes over in right field, and Fowler is in center field, and O'Neill staying in left. What it tells you too, you know, you're sacrificing a little defense here clearly with Jose Martinez, but you're looking at maybe multiple innings out of John Brebbia.
They're going to need it. I mean, guys are going to have to get extended a little bit. He is one of few members of the bullpen right now that are well rested. And he's proven, I mean, he can go multiple innings for you if need be.
So here's Kevin Newman. Popped out, grounded out, singled to left, then was caught stealing. Newman, Diaz, and then Crick. 1 ball, 1 strike. Webb with 2 innings, no runs, no hits, 1 strikeout, no walks. Good work. 2 scoreless innings.
Stepped up big time.
1 ball, 1 strike on Kevin Newman. Just off the plate.
I've heard that before today. Tell you what, this has been one thing recently for the Cardinals, is just figuring out different ways to win ball games, especially since the All-Star break. It hasn't been the same thing over and over again. You've had games where the starters have rolled. You've had games where the offense has done a lot, but you've also had games where the Cardinals have found themselves in the hole and they've had to battle back. Or the bullpen has had to step up big time, like we're seeing here today.
Out of play. Boy, Brebbia, I mean, for the most part, he just gets it and goes.
I love it. Well, if you're a defender, you're on your toes the whole time. There's no messing around. And honestly, as a hitter, it sometimes makes you uncomfortable when you have a guy that does that. There's a confidence in the fact that he just gets the ball and rocks and fires.
3-2 and a strikeout for Brebbia to start the bottom of the 9th. He comes back to get him, and a called 3rd strike.
Tell you what, borderline pitches have not necessarily gone the Cardinals' way throughout this ball game, but this is one right here. I mean, it's perfect. Perfect pitcher's pitch. It's 95. It's down. It's away, and he gets the call.
A strikeout to start the bottom of the 9th in a 2-2 game, and now Diaz singled back in the 4th and scored. The other 2 plate appearances have been strikeouts. And strike 1. So the Cardinals on their bench, position player wise, are down to Andrew Kisner. The Bucks have Cabrera and Stallings, and Cabrera is on deck. He would hit for Crick. 1 ball, 1 strike. 6 hits for Pittsburgh tonight. They have left 7 on. The Cardinals 5 hits and 5 left on. Cardinals have not had a base hit since back in the 5th. 2-1. Left, Miller, Shreve, Gallegos, Gan, Martinez in the pen. What's left in the pen are guys that are beat up a little bit in terms of being used a lot here recently. That's a strike, and it's 2-2.
Not that it's an easy task for the Cardinals against the bullpen for the Pirates. Their back end of the bullpen is strong. They've been showing off some of those arms here in the last couple of innings, but they're going to have to get something together. Going to have to scrape something out. You don't want to have to dig deeper and deeper into that pen. Still got a lot of series left, a lot of ball games left before the Cardinals get a chance. Good pitch right there.
Yeah, looking for something else, and back-to-back Ks. John Brebbia.
Catches it looking again. You talk about spotting up and hitting corners. The last at bat against Newman, it was down the way perfect. This one against Diaz, it's up, it's away, it's right on the corner.
Melky Cabrera will pinch hit here in the 9th. You talk about a guy that maybe teams would like coming off the bench to be a weapon. Here he is. Man can hit, and that's a strike, but call the ball. He's a switch hitter, and he's pinch hitting here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. And again, Brebbia, just like the first 2, falling behind. So the backup catcher Jacob Stallings left as the only available position player for Clint Hurdle. 3-0. Adam Frazier on deck. Cabrera 6 for 18 as a pinch hitter. And his last walk-off was in 2009, long time ago. And the one before that, 2006.
Dang. You know, it's a while when I was playing when something happened.
3-1. Now 3-2. So he gets the call there. Borderline pitch. And here we go. Another full count. 17th full count in this game. Spoiled by Cabrera.
You've got him looking out over the plate. I think a good fastball in the inner half. I know it's dangerous going in late in ball games in these situations. He does have power to that pull side, but you got him looking out there.
3-2 pitch by Brebbia. Put in play. High chopper racing in. Colton Wong, and not in time. It's an infield hit for Melky Cabrera to extend the bottom of the ninth.
Sometimes you need the opposition to hit the ball harder. That's the case right there. This is a fastball. It's down, and he just chops this thing right into the dirt in front of the plate. Takes that big hop. It's too soft. It's too slow. And Musgrove in to run for Cabrera.
It's Joe Musgrove, the pitcher. So Musgrove, will see him in this series. Pitching in Game 4. Will pinch run here. And that'll be it for John Brebbia after striking out 2. The infield hit, and Chasen Shreve, with all the lefties and guys you want to turn around, will come in. So they have 3 lefties in that pen. Shreve coming on when we come back. Called to the pen. 1 walk, 1 strikeout in his 2 games. Remember, he did not break camp with the club. He was in Memphis, part of the Luke Voigt deal. We saw him at the tail end of last season, and he comes into the ball game with the winning run. The pitcher Musgrove at first. Adam Frazier at the plate, top of the Pirates lineup. First pitch fouled back, and there's strike 1. Frazier, 3 walks and a line out tonight. That line out was against the lefty Webb, and against left-handed pitching this year. He's hitting .267. And the 0-1 by Shreve. 2 strikes. If we get to the 10th, the Cardinals would have Wieters, who's driven in the 2 runs for St. Louis. Jose Martinez, who came in the 9th, took over in right, and Tommy Edman at the top of the lineup. 1 strike away from sending us to extra innings. The 0-2. Very light, and I mean very light rain beginning to fall here at PNC Park. It was raining hard throughout the afternoon, off and on the downtown area. And at some point we will have a delay. We're here for 4 days. It's bound to happen.
With that attitude, certainly.
Here's a 1-2. Kept in front by Wieters.
It'll probably be Thursday.
Getaway day.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Cincinnati on the road, leading Milwaukee 2-1. That's in the top of the 7th, and the Cubs 1-0 lead over San Francisco. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Frazier. Winning run at first in Musgrove. Outfield deep, and he hit him. Puts the winning run in scoring position, and Shreve, a little smile as if to say, now hold on, was an attempt to get out of the way, but rarely if ever is that called. And Frazier on base now for the 4th time to go along with his 3 walks. 7th time he's been hit by a pitch, and that puts Musgrove in scoring position.
Shreve knows in that situation he's got to get it in. Can't make the mistake over the plate, but airs way too far to the arm side.
Brian Reynolds, the switch hitter. Any way you want to look at it, this guy's had a good year. Came in .314 from this side of the plate, .340 the left side, and very good numbers with runners in scoring position. He doubled off the wall in right to bring in a run in the 4th inning. The 1-0 pitch by Shreve. Little bit low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Can Shreve send us to extra innings here in game 1? Outfield in now just a bit. The 2-0. Starling Marte on deck. Six straight balls thrown now by Shreve.
It's a situation here also, while you don't want to get to Marte, you know how good he is. You can't serve up a cookie at this point. I mean, you still got to be able to spot up, hit a corner.
The 3-0 pitch. Foul back. 3-1. Turned him loose on 3-0. It is an interesting move made by Mike Schilt to go at the lefty on Frazier, and then knowing if it didn't work, you're going to have to deal with Reynolds against a lefty. You've got Marte against a lefty, potentially Bell. As the rain has picked up a bit. 3-1 pitch on its way. Pulled foul. Well, Musgrove will get now a tremendous jump, and a base hit should score him easily. He's off with a pitch. 18th full count of the ball game. 3-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. 2-2 our score.
It's time for that one big pitch right here. Seen the Cardinals pull out a few of them in this ball game already.
Shreve is set. There go the runners. He got him a strikeout for Shreve, and he sends us to the 10th. A strikeout of Brian Reynolds. Cardinal fans, some of them loving it. Extra innings. Shreve gets the key K, and it's 2-2. Liriano, Rodriguez, Crick, and now Holmes. The Cardinals, their 5 hits were against the starter Trevor Williams, who went 5 innings. The bullpen has not allowed a hit. Extra inning records: Pittsburgh 7-6. The Cardinals are 6-3 and 4-1, by the way, on the road in extra innings. All 3 games at PNC Park have gone to extra innings, and this is Matt Wieters, followed by Jose Martinez and Tommy Edman. Good ball game.
It's a great ball game, and not exactly how you plan to start this thing out if you're the Cardinals. Daniel Ponce de Leon running into some issues early, only ends up going through 3 innings, but look, guys on both sides have stepped up, made some big pitches. Chasing Shreve right there with a good split ends the inning.
Clay Holmes. So left in the bullpen, Vasquez, the lefty, their closer, Luis Escobar, Chris Stratton, a pair of righties. 6th pitcher used. by Pittsburgh tonight. Kisner, the lone bench player for St. Louis. Wieters has driven in the 2 runs for the Cardinals. Way inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Back in the 3rd inning, one of the hardest hits of the night. And Wieters, yeah, I think he knew it.
I'll take a little something like that here. Got a 2-0 count. You're looking for 1 pitch, 1 spot. If you get it, unleash.
The 2-1 pitch to Matt Wieters. Wow. It has been that way though all night, and it's been that way on both sides.
Yeah, good take. Good take. Hey, baby.
The 3-1 pitch to Wieters. And it's a leadoff walk. The go-ahead run. Boy, those can be killers. Those walks late in a game and certainly in extra innings. Now Jose Martinez, first plate appearance of the night. You know, that's the other thing by the Pirates bullpen. That's the first base runner they've allowed. They didn't hit a man, no base hits and no walks. Cardinals receiving their 3rd walk. Here's Jose Martinez. Inside, and Martinez has one of the biggest hits on this road trip to break the 7-7 tie in Cincinnati. Part of that 10-run inning, he had a 3-run homer. The 1-0 pitch. 1-1. It was Friday night. Cardinals down 7-0, and then they got 10 in one of their biggest comebacks in literally franchise history.
That was awesome. Such a cool inning, and this team battling, fighting, figuring out ways to win ball games. And it's a beautiful feeling as a ball club when you believe that you're always in it, no matter what's happening. Your starter is on the ropes, and he gives it up a little bit. Look, you always got something left in the tank. Picking up Adam Wainwright right there was big for this club. That was fun watching on TV. I was at home for that. I can only imagine you being there watching it on the call.
Incredible. The 2-1 pitch. 3-1.
Well, the sinker is missing arm side. The slider, he's pulling it a little bit. Again, I mean, this is a situation where you're looking for something up, out, over. 1 pitch. If you get it, great.
The next to Martinez. Took a hack at it and tapped it foul. So the 19th full count of this ball game.
I mean, I want to see 20 at least. What's the record? Do we have a record for this in Major League Baseball? How many full counts in a game? We'll look that up.
37.7.
How did we get the point?
I don't know.
I'm not a math guy.
I'm not either. Wieters, your runner at first base, and the 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. Comes back to get him after falling behind. 14 strikeouts in the Cardinal lineup.
Good fastball down and in, sinking action right here. Martinez comes out of his shoes.
Well, this guy has had a knack for the dramatic. Tommy Edman 1 for 4 tonight. Runner at first, Matt Wieters. Left side of the infield is open. And it is taken for a ball just outside. Edman to start the game hit one to just about the 410 sign in left center. That was caught by Marte. Singled to left, reached on an error, or rather almost reached on an error, and then grounded out to third. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Same location, a little down in the zone, and that one going the way of Holmes.
Well, the thing is, right now, the way that Holmes is throwing is he's got to prove that he can do that one again. I mean, if you're Tommy Edman, you see something on the outer half, you don't have to offer at this point. Make him come to you.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Edman, and it's a base hit into left center. Cut off by Marte, and Wieters to second base. Now, do you think about the idea of pinch running for Wieters with someone, and then Andrew Knizner take over behind the plate? Then you're out of position players.
Dangerous, certainly dangerous at this point to do that.
Look at that. I mean, don't you think he's thinking that right now?
No, it's exactly what he's thinking. I mean, you saw Wieters isn't the quickest guy in the world. You got to put one in a good spot to score him. Back-to-back hits certainly have been something that's been tough to come by in this ball game.
Well, he's done it a couple times with Flaherty, and let's just say it hasn't worked out. That's being kind. Here's Dexter Fowler. Fowler tonight, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, a double and a single. 283 with runners in scoring position. You think about the outfield arms in this spot, all 3 plus arms. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Fowler. And did it hit him? He's limping.
It definitely hit him.
And you could hear a couple of knocks even up here, and that definitely hit him. And what a shock. Dexter Fowler getting hit on the foot in Pittsburgh. It happens every time we're here. And the bases are loaded.
She catches him right in the toe of the back foot, right in that left big toe.
Brad, this happened earlier this year, and that is the foot, an area of his foot that has had issues in the past.
Can't catch a break. And to the point you had before about position players thinking about pinch runners.
Yeah.
You have one guy on your bench in Andrew Knizner.
You'd have to move at this point probably a Tommy Edman maybe to the outfield. If somebody had to come out, and then Knizner comes in, Wieters goes to first, and now Knizner comes in the game at third. So he's at third base, and he'll pinch run for Matt Wieters. We saw Knizner's legs come into play over the weekend, that big inning, and the Cardinals were talking about how well he was running in that game. So going for broke here.
Hey, taking a chance. I mean, if I were going to tell you at the beginning of the season that I had a bases loaded game in the 10th inning with 1 out, who would you want to bet?
This is the guy. Bases loaded. Goldschmidt. Ooh, he almost hit him. And for Knizner, you're getting instruction from Pop Warner saying, look, this guy's been all over the place. Be ready.
Yep. Well, and again, remember how everybody's been attacking Goldschmidt. It's been that fastball in, and then it's been the slider away. We've already seen him have some trouble with that slider, pulling him across. You bounce one of those, that's the lead.
Here's a 1-0 with the bases loaded. Goldschmidt, big rip, and fouled it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Paul came up Saturday with a runner at third, less than 2 outs, and couldn't bring that runner home. And this is what we're talking about with St. Louis. Situational hitting.
Well, that's one right there that you would think that Goldie might want back.
Cardinals 0 for 5 tonight with runners in scoring position. The 1-1 pitch. Now 2 strikes. If you're wondering, Goldschmidt is grounded into 6 double plays and in the hole now 1 and 2.
I was not wondering that. Or thinking about that.
Yeah.
I was thinking more so along the grand slam line of that hanging slider that he's about to throw right here because he's going to make it so nasty.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases loaded. The next 2, Paul Goldschmidt. And a fly ball out to deep right. How about it? How about it? Grand slammer! And a little fist pump from Goldschmidt. He delivers a grand slam here in the 10th. And St. Louis has a 6-2 lead. He needed that. The Cardinals needed that. A grand slam, Paul Goldschmidt. Their 2nd grand slam on this trip.
Right guy, right spot right there with Paul Goldschmidt. Man, Holmes trying to work him in early in the count. Tries to go away, and that's that Paul Goldschmidt stroke. That fastball away, that get extended, that opposite field power. Waited a long time in this ball game for that big hit.
And it comes with 2 strikes. And a blast from Paul Goldschmidt, his 19th home run. The reaction of the bench. And folks, there's a lot of red behind them too. The Cardinal fans have taken over the ballpark. Little check swing under the glove of Holmes, but carries to the second baseman Frazier. Been waiting for some of those big moments from that man, and we just got one.
I mean, this ball game had the feel, and certainly, look, there's still 3 big outs to get on the other side, but it had to feel like it was going to keep going. You know, that big hit just wasn't coming. Well, it came. Got the arms extended.
So 2 outs, and here's DeYoung. In the bottom of the 10th, it'll be Marte, Bell, and Gung. And with a 4-run lead, you might be able to sit Martinez, and that's in the gap in left center. And DeYoung to second base. This has been a rough inning here for Holmes. 2nd time that DeYoung has been aboard. A walk, a run scored, and now a double.
Just center cut right here. Good balanced swing by Paul DeYoung. The Cardinals not finished, trying to pour on a little bit.
By the way, let's talk about the distance on a 1-2 pitch in right center. I mean, that was a blast. Ball jumped.
I got to be honest, I'm surprised by the pitch because that's where his power is. I mean, it's about getting the arms out. It's about getting extended. Hasn't seen the slider well.
Intentional walk to Colton Wong to bring in Chase and Shreve. Wow. Wow.
That's big time.
Woo. And so Shreve, with no position player available, will be the hitter here. And backing away from a pitch down and in. So the benefit of the grand slam, not only the lead, but 4 runs, sit Martinez, and at least Shreve would start the inning, and if all goes to plan, finish the game out.
Yeah, just hope you can keep it that way. Anytime that you can limit the usage of your bullpen, they've been used so much. Take a little pressure off a guy like Carlos.
Our friend and outstanding graphics and stats and different things to come up with. You were posing the question, how many in a game of the full counts? Since 1974, there have been 33, and there have been 24 of those tonight.
I knew if I asked a question, I'd get an answer.
The fans starting to boo as it's 3-0 on Shreve, and he's taking 2, if not 3 pitches. The batter, by the way, will be Kisner if he comes up. Remember, he pinch ran for Wieters. So the last Grand Slam, 2017, and his 5th of his career. And good to see him actually smiling. Haven't seen a lot of that.
Oh. I want a lot of smiles in this second half. Again, that's a guy that carries this team. You know he's got the ability, man. He's done it his whole career.
And he walked him. The bases are loaded. And here comes Clint Hurdle. He walks Chasen Shreve. First career time that he's been on base in his 4th career plate appearance. 3 walks in the inning. 1 of those intentional. Luis Escobar, the right-hander, coming in for the Pirates, and the bases will be loaded for Andrew Kisner. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, relief of Holmes, who went 2/3 of an inning. The Cardinals in their Chevy call to the pen prior to the grand slam hit by Goldschmidt. Right-handed batters had been 0 for 20.
Dan, I believe that's what you would call the do factor.
That would have been the do factor. So here's Kisner, and the bases are loaded again. And that pitch, a ball.
Okay. I'm all for 2 grand slams in an inning. I'm in.
Let's get Fernando Tatis here. One-0 pitch. Kisner whacks it out to right. And the catch made on the edge of the track. The Cardinals bat around. And it's highlighted by this blast with 2 strikes and the bases loaded. A long one off the bat of Goldschmidt. His 19th, a grand slam, and it's 6-2. Slam moments ago by Paul Goldschmidt, his 19th home run. He had a crushing homer, remember, against the Pirates in the 7th inning of the day game, the getaway day at home last week, and now this grand slam in extra innings. Kisner staying in the game after pinch running for Wieters, and then coming up to hit, sends one to the track with the bases loaded. He's catching, and Chasen Shreve, who came in with 2 outs, 1 on, and a runner at first in the 9th to send us to the 10th. We'll try to finish it off. He's got 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup. It'll be Marte, the switch hitting Josh Bell, and then Gung, who pinch hit back in the 8th and stayed in the game. They were the chance during the commercial break as the Cardinals took the field of Goldie. There are a lot of Cardinal fans here. The fans that are left.
I was going to say, might be the only ones that ended up staying here. Got a couple of Bucco fans in front row there, but strong Cardinal contingent here. And
another pitch that just missed in. A little smile there from The left-hander, Shreve.
And this is the thing. You've got yourself a cushion. No free passes. I realize the zone is small. Got to attack.
That's ripped and fair inside that left field line. And that'll be a double for Starling Marte. And with that, you might have Martinez at some point enter this game. Now, he was on the mound in the bullpen just throwing, and there he is getting back and loose. Do you visit with Shreve to give Martinez more time?
I'm not sure at this point you have to. I think that Carlos got up, was pretty ready before. Doesn't take him much to get going again.
There's Josh Bell after the double by Marte. 3-hit night for Starling Marte. Bell a couple of walks, and he taps it foul. Also grounded into the shift up the middle. Hit taken away because of the shift. And then the other one by Wong. Remember, he hit that screamer back in the 7th with Webb on the mound.
That was pretty good positioning in that one. It was a pitch that was away. He shot it right back up the middle.
And he hits it out to deep left. O'Neill won't get it. One hopper off the wall. A run will score. Bell to second base. He drives in his 86th. And here come the Pirates. And here comes Mike Schilt.
Well, the way this game has gone, you knew it couldn't be that easy, right?
So runner at second, and Gunn will face Carlos Martinez. Left in the pen, Miller, Gallegos, and Gant. But right now they're thinking about the tsunami. Strikeout to send us extra innings and back-to-back doubles. He'll give way to Carlos Martinez, the 6th Cardinal pitcher in this ball game. So one on, nobody out. You're in the bottom of the 10th, and Jung Ho Kang. And Kang hits one out to deep left. We've got a one-run game.
Carlos comes in, first pitch, it's a fastball, it's middle in, and well, Gunn can crush a heater. This one not well placed, being aggressive.
That makes it 6-5, and the tying run will come to the plate. Corey Dickerson. Last 4 pitches we've seen in the ballgame, 3 hits, 3 runs. Closes the book on Shreve, a third of an inning and 2 runs. And a grounder and a base hit. Tying run aboard, winning run comes to the plate. Goodness, nothing is easy.
Well, here's the thought now with Carlos Martinez. You know how great the sinker is. You need a ground ball. I mean, you got to figure out a way, keep the ball in the infield. That was a ground ball there that shot through. He's been in plenty of situations just like this. Time to bear down. Mike Maddox going to talk to him, try to calm him down a little bit, talk about the situation, how you want to pitch Newman, what you're trying to do.
Newman with 6 home runs this year. Popped out to second, grounded to short, singled to left, and struck out looking. Martinez has come in. Gun, first pitch. 2-run homer. Dickerson, the base hit to right. And a ball. Still no one out. Here at the bottom of the 10th. The one available position player is Jacob Stallings for the Pirates, their backup catcher. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Almost hit him. Now, Carlos Martinez has pitched in 4 of the last 7 days, 88 pitches. So it's not just the pitches, as we say all the time in the game. It's getting up, getting loose, sitting down, getting back up. He's had to do that tonight.
Yeah, it takes its toll. And you're right, it was multiple times here. You saw on the slider, one backs up, one he pulls. A good sinker down and away gets the ground ball.
3-0. John Ginn up and throwing, and better get throwing very quickly. Cardinals clearly not happy, or I don't know if not happy is the right way to put it, but he, you know, the guys, yeah, he's just been used a lot, may not have it. We'll see. 3-0 pitch, and there's a strike. Dickerson with 1 stolen base this year. He's at first base after his single to right field.
Easier said than done, but keep it right there. I mean, keep it down.
And the next to Newman. As Martinez steps off. Ground ball, backhanded, but DeYoung can't come up with it. If it's an error, it's only his 4th of the year. Hard hit ball, couldn't come up with it, and that will be an error, I'm sure, on DeYoung. And it is his 4th of the year.
Tough play, one though that we've seen Paul DeYoung make over and over again, and Carlos got what he wanted. He got the fastball away, he got the ground ball, was hit hard enough, even though he runs well, to likely turn 2.
Well, now you have runners at first and second. Here's Diaz. Still no one out. Corners anticipating the potential of a bunt. He squares. The bunt is foul. And strike 1. Diaz, tough night. He's had that base hit to right in the 4th. Scored a run, but struck out 3 other times. You have Escobar, the pitcher spot on deck, and 1 available position player. What a wild game this has turned into.
I mean, it's entertaining, is it not? Sure, you'd love to just seal the deal and make it all easy, but that's what it's all about.
And the 0-1 pitch by Martinez. Goldschmidt charging. They got to play at third. Force and out. He's out at third. The stretch by Edman. By design. Remember the first bunt. Foul. Hurdle. They had both third and first coming in, and this time they kept the third baseman Edman back, and it pays off.
Well, Carlos does a great job of just bouncing on this one.
I don't know how Tommy Edman stayed on the bag there, because he had to stretch so high. And I mean, if you're Clint Hurdle, why wouldn't you challenge? If you think it's 50-50, I mean, you're in the 10th inning. Seems to be off there. Oh boy, that is close. It might be too close to overturn. So this will be Stallings that'll pinch hit for Escobar, the final position player, and no challenge. I'm shocked.
I'm surprised. Yes, me too.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Very happy.
Got nothing to lose. Up and in.
Carlos trying to do a little bit too much on that. It's 97, and we know he's got that in the tank. Look, 97's not going to get the out. The out is going to be well placed. It's going to be down in the strike zone.
Runners at first and second, and a strike on Stallings. He's not grounded into a double play this year, playing in his 29th game of the season. Comes in hitting .306. As a pinch hitter, though, he's done a nice job, 4 for 7. Here's a 1-1 pitch by Martinez. Popped up, and Kisner over and out of room. One ball and 2 strikes. Why would Clint Hurdle challenge that?
I really am. I have no idea. I mean, even as close as it was there, even if you believe it's not going to get overturned, you might as well take a look at it, right? I mean,
you got nothing to lose. So you're playing then for maybe another challenge, but you got to get there first. I mean, that was a close play. One ball, 2 strikes. And the next by Martinez to Stallings. Good rip. I mean, they must have felt very comfortable in the fact that Edman is back on the bag. I'm not.
I'm fine with it. Totally there. Yeah, you know the model of cleats that Tommy Edman wears.
Yeah.
He's got longer spikes.
There you go. Here's a 1-2 pitch now to Stallings. And it's a base hit into right field. Martinez throw to the plate. It's there! He got him! Jose Martinez! A bullet! A strike! And Kisner, the tag! And now Clint Hurdle is happy he's got a challenge left, maybe. They definitely have to challenge this. I don't care what the replay says. You got to challenge, right? A strike by Martinez. The tag applied, and he looks to be out. Maybe not. Did he slide under the glove?
I don't know. Don't take a look at this one either, because that was a good throw right there by Martinez. Comes up firing. Nice long hop.
Did he get under the glove? Ooh, I don't know. Tough to tell. And that's why Clint Hurdle kept the challenge.
Woo! Well, he's a genius. A smart play. Newman with the wide turnaround third could end up being the difference.
This might be our best look here. Oh boy, it's tough. I don't know. Can't tell if the foot got in because the umpire blocks the view. Do you have enough to overturn it?
Well, I'll tell you what, if that's the best look at it right there, Mike Estabrook, that's his best call of the day, is to be standing right there in front of that play. Because, I mean, it's tough to tell. It looks like the initial swipe may have, like, nicked his foot.
Yeah, the foot. To me, it's got to be the foot because then the leg gets in. Watch. He may have. Here's the call. He's out at the plate. And for once, I actually will get excited on a challenge. Jose Martinez, the outfield assist. Got him on the toe, I guess. Yeah.
Great throw by Jose Martinez. Tagged by Kisner.
And still one out to go. First and third. In the air. Out to right. Martinez. Got it! The Cardinals hold on in 10 in one of the wildest games of the year. Goldschmidt a grand slam. The outfield assist for Martinez. Add it all up. It's a win.
I mean, that is a little bit of everything in that ball game. Cardinals made it close. Boy, if you weren't entertained for that one, I don't know what else you want.
One more time, the look and throw from Jose Martinez. The tag by Kisner.
Textbook throw right there. Great long hop for Kisner. He swipes the tag, catches him right on the foot, and man, was that close.
All right, no big deal. Post game next.
Fine.
Yeah, whatever. Game 2 tomorrow, okay?
It's another ball game.
Relax. Everything's okay. The final in 10, 6-5.